Yerski. What's the word, man? Listen, YouTubians. Welcome to another stream with your guy, Gemini by Law. Hope everybody feeling good today, man. I'm decent, bro. I'm decent, man. This is the first time y'all seeing me since my B-Day. It's another, you know what I'm saying? Another year around the sun and all that. I'm saying thankful for that. You know what I mean? But look, listen, YouTube. We doubling up on the voice. Let me fix that. All right, we go. But yeah, man, we on here tonight. We talking about this. Well, yo, I gotta tell y'all about this Lil Wayne concert I went to, bro. It was fire. I gotta give y'all a quick review. Lil Weezy concert at Madison Square Garden. Shout out to my bro, Major Paper, bro. He got the tickets, bro. He had us floor seats, maybe like 4 rows back. Floor seats, like 4th row. Fire, bro. Literally fire. Best seats in the house. It was amazing. I enjoyed myself. Lil Wayne gave a great performance, bro. You could hear his voice over the mic the whole time. Like, it was all him. No back-end tracks. You know what I mean? Just a great performance. I gotta say that. I gotta give Weezy the GOAT his flowers, man. I enjoyed the performance, but we here to tap into this Deadly Gang Wars of Houston, bro. Deadly Gangs of Houston. J. Prince, Sauce Walka, and Texas prisons. I ain't watched no part of this at all. So we about to watch the whole thing from beginning. We're gonna snip around. We'll jump around when there's dead spaces, but we're gonna get into this because I ain't watched it yet. So tap in with me. Hope everybody feeling good. We're gonna tap into this, and then we got a couple of badge cam footages. And as always, y'all could drop y'all topics in the comments. Anything y'all want me to react to, put it in the comments, and we'll get to that. You know that.
Texas is a city where everything's.
Hey Mary. Hey Mary, welcome to the chat, girly. Yes, please hit the like button like Mary said.
Big, from cars and rims to rappers and their chains. It's a city.
Shout out to Trap LaRosse, man.
Where everything's big. From cars and rims to rappers and their chains, it's a city that's had an enormous influence on hip-hop's evolution. From early pioneers like the Ghetto Boys, DJ Screw, to the guys that brought the unique Houston sound all the way to the national mainstream in the mid-2000s. However, these days that influence is often overlooked, as
I used to run that corner, right on Flintwood. Don't it? Good. Yeah, any y'all know that Gucci freestyle?
other sounds like trap and drill have taken over the
I would trap it like a fool, me and that fat fool.
airways, but Houston's influence is still there for those who know what they're looking for. One of the more obvious examples being the stuff that you can seemingly find in every modern rapper's double cup, while another example being one of the biggest moguls the rap game has ever seen, who's helped launch the careers of some of the biggest artists of today, while also influencing the industry from behind the scenes with an iron fist. But Houston itself has gone through some major changes, as the city that was once relatively safe compared to many other major cities where large street gangs had begun to form years earlier, has turned itself into one of America's gang capitals, which has also influenced the music scene. One of the main faces of the Houston rap scene being the loud and flamboyant Sauce Walka.
I just saw a commercial from this nigga Sauce Walka earlier. Let me see. Let's go see if we can find this commercial, bro. Real quick. He advertises something, some joint he opening up in Texas. This joint was funny as hell. I gotta show y'all. Sauce Walka, that guy, he dumb funny. He could promote anything, bro. Look at this. I hope we can play this. Hopefully we can play this on YouTube. It shouldn't be no issue, man. Hey, it's a mechanical bull.
Hey! Welcome to Splash House Special Sauce Announcement. We got a new attraction for your satisfaction right here at Splash House. Don't talk about all them boys out there hating that your girl like me and my friends. Don't worry about it. We got something just for you, brother. You ain't gotta be mad at us. She come over here and ride this dick whenever she wants to.
She come over here, ride this dick whenever you want to. Yeah, you right, Mary. Drill music is kind of dying. I'm not really the biggest fan of drill. I listen to some drill rappers, but it ain't the biggest thing. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, we got that ride that dick challenge over here at Splash House, the Gas House. Yeah, man.
Ride that D challenge over here at the Splash House. You know how many chicks is gonna want to come ride this bull? It's not come ride that D.
Whoever brings whatever young lady in the city of Houston, they can come and ride that dick to love it. You know what I'm talking about? We got two.
Nah. Yo, Sauce is dumb funny, bro.
$300 for you every night. Yeah, man. Welcome to Splash House, the funnest club in Houston, Texas, man. It will never be nothing else like this again. Oh, come to Splash. Hey, we don't throw toilet tissue at my club. No disrespect to everybody. Y'all throw napkins, that's what's up. We ain't throwing napkins, baby. We throwing chicken around this bitch. Welcome to Splash House from 10 to 2, and then from 2 to 6, we gonna ball like that and spill like this. Curtis.
Nah, they getting a lot of money up there in Texas, man. Down in Texas, they getting a lot of money.
TNT said, excuse me. Shout out to my brother Mike D. Come on, white girl. Let's see that big old booty get up on that dick like that.
Come on, white girl.
Don't act like you don't like that black penis. Don't act like that.
Don't act like you don't like that black man.
And yeah, man, for everybody around America, man, we got a special change. They don't got Ask the World no more. You missed Six Flags? Too bad. Don't worry about it, baby. Come on, fuck with us. Let's splash out the cash out. Damn, stop bringing my nieces around this shit, man.
Stop bringing my nieces around this shit. See, he gotta kick his nieces out. Like, chill, y'all ain't supposed to be here, kids. That's for the adults.
Hey,
oh, look how she sat on that thing.
it's Splash House, baby. Ride that meat, Charlie. Come ride that dick. Yeah, man, everybody's hating on this, don't say the dick rider. Girl, everybody come on here. Yeah, just hold on tight, and hold on right. And you come ride on Sauce
Damn, you see how she ride that thing?
Walk of the night, baby. Yeah. Come on, bro. Ooh, and she looking good. Ooh, and she looking good.
Yeah,
hey, man, we at Splash House on Rich.
He ain't lying. Shout out to Sauce, though. Shout out to Sauce and his commercial real quick. Back to the video.
Music carries the legacy of Houston's old sound, rooted in syrup, slabs, and screw tapes, while also showcasing the raw, aggressive energy of a new generation shaped by gangs, street politics, and social media warfare. Unfortunately, Sauce Walka's life and career would almost come to an end when he was shot in the leg during a recent targeted attack in Memphis.
Rapper Sauce Walka was shot in the leg in Memphis just this past Saturday. Another man was shot and did not survive. Tonight, Memphis police say they've identified 21-year-old Jaden Dandridge as the shooting suspect. A warrant.
Stupid, bro. Dude got out with no mask. Like, he just thought it was a regular day. Like, he ain't just do a hit, and he got his gun out.
Has been issued for Dandridge's arrest.
While another rapper, Say So P, who was part of Sauce Walka's TSF record label, was also killed at the scene. This being yet another dark reminder of how increasingly blurred the lines have become between music and the streets in modern day rap. So in this video, we're going deep into the H-Town underground, from the city's gang and music scenes to the major players in the streets, studios, and boardrooms who shaped them.
Jay Prince, don't.
If you want to watch my video,
Don't get that old man indicted, Trap, LaRosse. Don't get that old man indicted.
those uncut and extended, go to Penn Houston and Sam Johnson with the 6th, so go search me there. Here's the video. It's October the 16th, 2017, a sunny Tuesday afternoon in southeast Houston, and Sam Johnson, a 53-year-old handyman, is just trying to make an honest living by fixing up a house on London Street, having no idea that in less than 10 minutes, he'll be caught in the crossfire of a war that's been raging on for years. A stolen blue Mazda speeds down the block, and before it even comes to a stop, 4 gunmen inside begin firing. The car crashes into a ditch, but the shooters don't miss a beat. They jump out, still shooting, before carjacking a woman, holding her baby, and making a getaway. When the smoke clears, Sam Johnson is dead, an innocent man killed in the gang war he had nothing to do with. A conflict between two...
Wait, so they carjacked a woman and took her baby?
Sam Johnson is dead, carjacking a woman, holding her baby, and making a getaway.
They took her baby.
When the smoke clears, Sam Johnson is dead, an innocent man killed in the gang war he had nothing to do with. A conflict between 2 Houston gangs that had already claimed over
This niggas is ruthless, dog.
50 lives since 2011. Sam Johnson's murder was about to expose something that would shock even federal investigators, because by 2017, Houston had become home to over 20,000 gang members and 400 different gangs. But to understand how Houston became a battleground where innocent handymen get caught in the crossfire, we need to go back to the beginning. Now, most people think Houston's gang problem started in the 90s with the explosion of crack cocaine, and in some ways that is true, because while some other major cities had been dealing with large street gangs since the 60s, 70s, or even earlier, in Houston, such gangs were still largely non-existent. However, the seeds of Houston's gang empire were already planted in the 70s and early 80s. At the time, Houston's black communities were dealing with the same problems plaguing urban America everywhere: poverty, segregation, and a lack of opportunities that pushed young men towards the streets. As a result, small neighborhood-based crews...
We need to protest these days. Roll back food prices. Like, bro, you see what a carton of eggs costs?
would begin forming in neighborhoods like the 3rd Ward and 5th Ward. They were nothing like the organized gangs we know today, but the foundation was being laid. But while cities like Los Angeles and Chicago had already developed their own gang cultures, Houston was about to become something different, a melting pot where gangs from across America would come in to set up shop. It started with migration throughout the 70s and 80s as people were moving to Houston from cities like Chicago and LA, drawn in by job opportunities and the oil industry. Some of these migrants would also bring with them the colors, codes, and criminal knowledge of some of America's most dangerous gangs. But the streets weren't the only place where Houston's gang future was being written. Inside the Texas prison system, something even more significant was happening. In 1984, the Texas Mexican Mafia would be born behind bars.
The Texas Mexican Mafia is considered a Tier 1 gang threat to our state. They got the highest rating threat to us as any gang member.
The East Los Angeles-based gang with connections to Mexican drug cartels is run like the military, according to the FBI. They have a leader who is in federal prison in Colorado. They have a constitution, and you must kill someone to get in, and you don't get out until you're dead.
And a year
I ain't gonna lie, them Mexican gangs do be ruthless.
later, the Aryan Brotherhood would make their Texas presence known too, while throughout the 80s, a prison gang called Tango Blast was forming as a protection group against the more established gangs like the Texas Syndicate.
It was a gang to help people go home because the other gang members were recruiting people and letting them go stab somebody.
Yeah.
Catching more life sentence, catching 30, 40 years more, just to, tell them you gotta go stab this dude. You don't even know this dude. They just tell you go stab him.
Yeah. Texas prison gangs may seem somewhat disconnected from Houston's streets, but here's the thing about Texas. It's got one of the largest prison systems in America, and Houston, being the biggest city in the state, is where a lot of these gang members end up when they get out. By the mid-1980s, there was a perfect storm brewing in Houston, where the small neighborhood crews provided the foundation and the prison gangs provided organizational blueprints, while migrants bought the cultures and criminal enterprises of America's biggest gang capitals. Added Houston's strategic location, perfect for drug trafficking, sitting right between Mexico and the rest of America, and all the ingredients for an explosion were set to take place. But just like in other cities in America, where the gang problem hadn't yet gotten out of control, nobody in Houston seemed to understand just how big that explosion would be. By 1988, Houston had 23 gangs with 333 members, but just a year later, in 1991, that number had exploded to 103 gangs with 1,098 members.
How you go from 23 to 103? Niggas just discovered gangs that year?
A 230% increase in just 3 years.
On Monday night.
Facts. Mary said Mexicans fight till the end, drunk and all. That's a fact. You ever seen a Mexican brawl?
City Under Siege reporter Sherry Martinez will begin a special report on Houston juveniles who were busted for allegedly selling crack cocaine.
On a Wednesday night, a school night, yet this 15-year-old is being arrested for allegedly selling crack cocaine.
Did he sell to the undercover officer?
Yeah. He's going to be our primary delivery, I believe.
You feel this is wrong to do?
Not really.
You don't think it's wrong? Why?
Not really.
Because
he don't know no better though. He's literally a child. Like, he doesn't know better yet.
money.
3 other juveniles have been arrested for allegedly dealing drugs. 2 of them are brothers.
You said you've seen kids come in with large amounts of cash. What have you seen?
This is the type of shit you gotta blame on the mama. You gotta blame this on whoever raising this kid. He shouldn't. This, you know what I'm saying? This shouldn't be what he exposed to at this age.
$700, $800, $900, food stamps, the Gucci pants.
This 13-year-old says he's sold crack for about a year, making $150 a week.
What do you buy with that money?
Clothes and, give money to my mother and stuff.
The Department of Justice took notice, sending investigators to figure out what the hell was happening in Houston. Their assessment was damning. These were young, immature, violent, and loosely organized groups, motivated mainly by the profits of drug trafficking. They would classify Houston's gangs into 4 categories: criminal street gangs, identity gangs, racist gangs, and bizarrely, satanic gangs. Though the last one was probably more about the satanic panic hysteria of the 80s rather than actual devil worshipping happening on the block. But what made Houston more different from other gang cities wasn't just the numbers, it was the diversity. Houston was becoming what people would start calling the Third Coast, a gang battleground positioned perfectly between the established gang territories of Los Angeles and Chicago. Like I mentioned earlier, the gangs that set up shop in Houston brought their full organizational structures with them, and what happened next turned the city into a battlefield unlike anywhere else in America. The first wave came from Los Angeles. Blood sets like the 5'9" Bounty Hunters and 5'9" Pyrus established.
Oh, so the Bloods was the first. Whoa! Yeah, but the red team, the B team was the first to infiltrate Houston, though. As you can see, all red. When the Crips come in, I see all Bloods.
Established their territories, the bounty hunters repping their red and black colours and 5-point stars, while the 5'9" Pyrus rep the colour red and 5-point crowns. Their main enemies, the Crips, would also make a lasting impact on Houston, starting with sets like the 5'2" Hoover Gangster Crips, who would establish their presence and bring with them the colours blue and orange. The orange was traditional for all Hoover sets, and this was in their set, a decision that would eventually change how Houston gangs operated forever. Meanwhile, Chicago's influence arrived with the Gangster Disciples and Black
Shout out to Maxo.
Disciples. These folk nation organizations bringing their own criminal organizations to Houston's streets. But Houston wasn't content to just host out-of-town gangs, and the city would also birth some significant homegrown gangs, like the Southwest Cholos, who emerged as a powerful Latino gang, while the Fifth Ward Circle represented the neighborhood loyalty that had existed long before any colors or codes arrived. By the 2000s, authorities were tracking gangs across Houston's sprawling...
The Fifth Ward, ain't that where Jay Prince and them run that? I think they run the Fifth Ward.
Geography. The South Side became home to the Third Ward crews with 103 gang.
Bro, the kid was like 13. They said he was selling crack for a year. The nigga mama, he 12. Whoever's in charge of that nigga, whoever's responsible for that nigga is supposed to be. Nah, I get it though. You right though, cause you right in some ways. I guess you can't blame the mama 100%, but she got some blame in it.
Various Crip and Blood sets controlling everything from Sunnyside to South Park. The suburb of Alif became a stronghold for Latino gangs like the MS-13 and the Southwest Cholos, while the North Side saw Acre Homes, Independent Heights, and Homestead developing their own gang territories, and the East Side became primary.
The reason why I say you gotta blame the mama is because I ain't even gonna lie. All of the shit that I got into, my mom's was aware of it. When I start getting too out of hand, doing this, doing that, my mom's is on my ass. She tweaking, she paying attention, she keeping her ear to the streets about her son, about her kids, what we got going on and all that. Like, she knew niggas was doing dumb shit, gangbanging and all that, but she ain't let, you know what I mean, certain lines that she didn't let niggas cross. Like, do you respect me? If you respect me, you're not gonna do certain shit, you know what I mean? But a lot of these mamas is on crack. A lot of these mamas is on narcotic. You know what I'm saying? They fucked up coming up. You know what I mean? So that probably tells a lot of reason why a 12-year-old could be selling crack every single day, making $125. You know what I mean?
Real estate for gangs like the 5'2" Hoover Crips around Clinton Park and Federal Road. The 2000s also saw a shift that would change everything about how these organizations operated. Like in many other cities, the predominantly black gangs in Houston began moving away from traditional gang structures, forming what can be better described as neighborhood cliques.
Right now, Houston, you have neighborhoods, you have cliques. You could have a Blood and a Crip right next to each other putting in work because it's all about the clique and the hood that you are from.
These cliques brought together members from different gangs, even traditional rivals, who were now united by geography rather than colors.
A lot of Bloods, you had a lot of Crips, some Vice Large, GDs, MS-13s.
One person who embodied this new approach was Maxo Cream. After getting put on by the 5'2" Hoover Gangster Crips at just age 13, Maxo would learn the traditional gang system firsthand. But by 2007, when he formed the Cream Clique Gang, he took a completely different approach. The Cream Clique Gang brought together members from everywhere: Bloods, Crips, Vice Lords, Folk Nation sets, and even homies from the suburbs, showcasing the new Houston model in action. For years, the Cream Clique would operate successfully, mixing criminal enterprise with Maxo's rising music career, but in 2016, federal agents would raid their operation, busting them for shipping marijuana from California to Texas through the mail. Authorities seized thousands of pounds of drugs.
Clearly they had a direct plug from Cali to Houston. Getting that shit.
Thousands of pills and numerous guns.
Tonight, pounds of pot, piles of pills, guns, body armor, and stacks of cash as well. Now, all of this was seized in a drug sting against a group that calls themselves the Cream Clique Gang. And among the 8 people arrested, a Houston rapper.
Investigators say these men were using boxes just like this to ship drugs all the way across the country. What they didn't know is that they were being watched the whole time.
Maxo beat the case.
Somebody must have read it.
But it showed how even the small neighborhood cliques weren't safe from the law. While Maxo was dealing with federal heat, the clique model would spread all across Houston in ways that were much more violent, as the neighborhood-focused approach that worked for mixed crews like Cream Clique was also fueling deadly territorial wars between rival blocks. The 100% Third Ward Gang and their rivals, the Young Scott Block, had been feuding since 2011. Both were what authorities called exclusively local and hometown groups, fighting over specific blocks in the Third Ward and Sunnyside areas. What made this conflict conflict particularly vicious was its personal nature. This wasn't about colors or national gang affiliations, it was beef between neighbors, where geographic proximity bred intense hatred, and that hatred was turning Houston into a war zone. By 2017, this single conflict between two relatively small gangs had claimed over 50 lives. The violence had become so routine that innocent people like Sam Johnson were getting caught in the crossfire during broad daylight shootings.
Well, during a bond hearing in July for a so-called gang-related murder in Southeast Houston, HPD Police Detective Adam Bach disclosed in court there have been more than 50 deaths since 2011 related to that gang war.
This was just one feud. Federal authorities were tracking much bigger threats operating all across the entire state, threats that weren't just running operations from Houston streets, but also from behind the walls of Texas prisons. While everyone was focused on what was happening in the streets, the real power was being consolidated behind bars, where the Texas Department of Criminal Justice houses around 20% of inmates who are identified as gang members. We're talking about one of the largest prison systems in America, and inside these walls, gangs don't just survive, they thrive, recruit, and run criminal empires that stretch far beyond the prison fences. The biggest player in this system is Tango Blast, with an estimated 17,000 to 19,000 members being a centralized command structure. Instead, they operate as loosely affiliated crews based on cities: Houston Tango, Dallas Tango, and San Antonio Tango. However, this wasn't always the plan. Tango Blast formed in the 1980s out of pure survival, as Texas prisons were dominated by established gangs like the Texas Syndicate and Mexicanemi, and new inmates needed protection. But what started as a defensive alliance against these older, more organized prison gangs slowly evolved into something much more powerful. The decentralized structure that began as a weakness became Tango Blast's greatest strength, because when law enforcement takes down a traditional gang leader, the whole organization can crumble. But with Tango Blast, there's no head to cut off. Over time, Houston would become the crown jewel in this prison empire. The city's proximity to the Mexican border made it perfect for drug smuggling operations. The massive Harris County jail system became a recruitment hub, and when Tango Blast members got out, many settled in Houston, bringing their prison connections to the streets. But Tango Blast wasn't the only prison gang in Houston using the city as their base. MS-13, originally from El Salvador, would also discover that Houston offered everything they needed. The city's large Latino population provided cover for their operations. The port...
Yo, I ain't even gonna lie. Shout out to El Salvador, all my niggas from, what's that? That's South America? Central America? Shout out to all my niggas from over that way. Bro, them niggas be coming from that country. Dangerous. Them niggas come to America, cutting and slicing niggas' heads off, bruh. Where they from, they cutting niggas every day. I ain't even gonna lie, it's like that. I got a story, I got a couple homies that I work with in different jobs and shit that tell me about how it is in El Salvador, in the hoods.
Highway systems made trafficking easy, and the proximity to the border meant easy access to their Central American networks. By 2018, law enforcement classified MS-13 as a Tier 1 gang threat to the entire state of Texas. They were involved in drug smuggling, human trafficking, and trafficking, and while their numbers in Houston might have been relatively small, their reputation for brutal violence was massive. Other prison gangs like Hermanos de Pistoleros Latinos and various factions were also using the Texas system to recruit and organize. The Harris County Jail became more than just a place to hold suspects, it became a networking hub where gang members from different organizations could meet, plan, and coordinate. The prison-to-street pipeline was creating sophisticated criminal enterprises with international connections, prison-based leaderships, and street operations that could adapt faster than local law enforcement could respond. Gangs offer protection to vulnerable inmates, but that protection comes with a price, a lifelong loyalty that continues long after release. And the gangsters running these operations were about to become some of the most infamous criminals in Houston history. And top of that list is Shaquille O'Neal Richards. Not that Shaq. This is a man who authorities describe as the leader of the 100% 3rd Ward Gang, and someone the Department of Justice calls one of the worst of the worst. In 2023, federal prosecutors would indict him for ordering the 2017 murder of Sam Johnson, that innocent handyman from our opening story, right from his prison cell, showing the level of organization and influence that this guy pulls. However, these individual gangsters, as dangerous as they are, represent just the tip of the iceberg, because when we start looking at the body counts from some of Houston's gang wars, the numbers become almost incomprehensible. And in 2021 alone, Houston's murder rate hit 473 homicides, with gangs linked to a substantial portion of these killings. But Houston's story isn't of course just about gangs and violence. As while the streets were being consumed by territorial wars and federal investigations, another side of the city was quietly building something that would change hip-hop forever. Houston is a city with one of the most unique hip-hop cultures in America, known for things like the slowed-down sound of chopped and screwed music.
He invented chopped and screwed music, which was essentially slowing down existing records to a snail's pace, like a syrupy drawl.
And I ain't gotta talk behind your back what I said about you, I'll say to you.
Which was deeply influenced by the city's thirst for the so-called purple drank, aka lean, a codeine-based cough syrup that's mixed with soda.
Nah, look at this dude. You about to go leg.
New York, them, they drink, you know what I'm saying? West Coast known for their weed, you know what I'm saying? Houston, we known for our thing, you know what I'm saying?
This is lean oil. It's something gonna put you to sleep, man, on your ass if you drink too much.
As well as candy-painted slabs swanging down the boulevard, playing music from the massive custom speakers poking out of a popped-out trunk. However, before Houston became known for its distinctive style, which would eventually even take the city to the very top of the rap game for a period of time in the mid-2000s, it started from very humble beginnings. Just like most other southern cities that took their time to catch up with the rap scenes of cities like New York, the birthplace of hip-hop, and Los Angeles, the birthplace of gangster rap, but when Houston did finally catch on, it came out with force, in many ways pioneering the sound of the South. This is mostly because of one group, the Ghetto Boys, which was originally founded by 3 members, Raheem, Sire Jukebox, and Sir Rap-A-Lot, who's the
Right, this is where Jay Prince come in, because he's the label head of that.
brother of legendary Houston rap mogul Jay Prince, who we'll discuss more later. However, the group would go through some significant changes during the mid-80s and would eventually be formed by 4 members, DJ Ready Red, Scarface, Willie D, and Bushwick Bill, who would go on to make a national breakthrough with their 1989 album Grip It on that other level. The album would receive significant underground buzz and caught the attention of legendary producer Rick Rubin, who would then take many of the songs from the album, together with some new and old songs, and reissue them through his Deaf American recording.
Yeah, the nigga Bushwick Bill was a little person.
Imprint under the album name The Ghetto Boys in 1990. The album brought the Houston rap scene to major attention nationwide, although the biggest reason for much of its attention was due to the fact that Geffen Records, who were the distributor for Rick Rubin's Deaf American, would back out from their distribution deal with the rap group after hearing the music on the album, deeming the lyrics way too violent and sexually explicit, which would cause headlines all over the country. These kinds of early controversies contributed to Southern rap becoming eventually known by the moniker Dirty South, due to the extreme violence and other explicit themes often present in the music. While the Ghetto Boys are often considered to be the pioneers of so-called horrorcore rap, a subgenre probably best known for the rap group The Insane Clown Posse, aka ICP, whose member Violent J would later tell the Ghetto Boys rapper Willie D how the Ghetto Boys had influenced their sound.
And for anybody who don't know, the wicked horrorcore is rappers rapping about fantasy horror. You know what I mean? Things, anything supernatural or something of fantasy, like a horror movie or something. You know what I mean? Anything along those lines.
Violence.
The first horrorcore song I ever heard was "Assassins."
Yeah.
By the original Ghetto Boys.
Ghetto Boys would then go on to release their official breakthrough album, the 1991 hip-hop classic We Can't Be Stopped, which included the smash hit Mind Playing Tricks on Me. The album continued on the direction that had first placed the group under public scrutiny, the album cover including an image of Bushwick Bill getting pushed on a stretcher by Willie D and Scarface, the image being taken shortly after a real incident where Bushwick Bill had gotten shot in the eye. However, while the Ghetto Boys were making a way
Clearly he was gangster. He was a little person, but he was gangster.
For Houston and the entire South with their controversial gangster rap sound, there was also another subgenre of rap forming in the city, pioneered by a DJ who enjoyed sipping the infamous purple drank while trying to make the music he was playing match the way that he was feeling under the influence. I'm of course talking about DJ Screw, who would invent the so-called chopped and screwed music by slowing down or screwing songs down on tempo and pitch, and then playing the same song on both turntables with a beat difference, allowing him to create a chopping effect where certain parts of the
Yo, he should get paid for every song that at the end of the song, they slow it down and do that little chopped and screwed type sound. They do that on mad hit songs. At the very end of the song, they'll slow it down and chop and screw it a little bit. And that shit came from this nigga. Niggas wasn't chopping and screwing nothing before this dude.
The song were repeated. This combination would create an almost psychedelic feel, while transforming existing songs to the point where they sounded completely new. Screw himself was likely influenced by earlier Houston DJs like Daryl Scott and Michael Price, who both experimented in the 80s with slowing down R&B songs to either create smoother transitions between songs or to achieve a more laid-back and mellow vibe. But Screw's unique approach would become a huge phenomenon in the Houston rap scene during the 90s, to the point where people would line up in their cars for blocks just to get their hands on his latest mixtape that he was selling straight out of his house. Screw and his friends would also have a rap group called the Screwed Up Clique, made up of numerous Houston legends like Fat Pat, Big Hawk, Big Mello, Big Mo, Big Pokey, ESG, Lil Flip, Lil Kiki.
Yo, Dave Blunt's like this nigga. This nigga look just like Dave Blunt. Son right here.
Zero and Lil O, the Botany Boys, and many others. They would often meet at Screw's house where they would all freestyle together.
Dave Blunt's like 300 pounds bigger though, like 200 pounds more.
While sipping lean and smoking dope.
Remember players and haters, had no common denominators, it gets greater later if you're straight for perpetrators. I pull more stunts than Evil Knievel, cause I'm on that chase for the rule of all evil, trying to thread the needle, making hits like the Beatles. This is just the first chapter of his legendary sequel. Every day, all day, we parlay and sip, pints of lean and 2 liters with a fast grip, too clean on the scene, G'd up and down, riding on foes, pimping in the streets of H-Time. I'm on fire, man. They better leave me alone. He on fire. He's on fire. Going down. I'm doing everything. Screwed up click, H-Time, baby.
While Screw himself would unfortunately pass away in the year 2000, reportedly due to an accidental overdose caused by his sipping lean. His influence would continue to shape the direction of the Houston rap scene for years to come, from the slowed down beats to the codeine-soaked cadences of the rappers, and even the way that the songs would often create impeccably catchy choruses by sampling old Houston classics and pitching the voice down in the chopped and screwed spirit of DJ Screw. This unique style would pay off big time during the mid-2000s, when Houston would lead the southern takeover of the rap game during the heyday of the so-called Dirty South era. Several Houston artists would become mainstream household names during this period, including guys like Mike Jones, Paul Wall, Slim Thug, Millionaire.
Mike Jones, 8004. Is that nigga phone number?
Trey the Truth, and of course the Underground Kings, aka UGK, made up of Bun B and Pimp C, who were originally from the city of...
The Underground Kings, man. Bun B, Pimp C. Long live Pimp C, man.
Port Arthur, but would rep Houston heavily during this time. Unfortunately, this golden age of Houston rap would eventually come to an end during the late 2000s and early 2010s, as other sounds and subgenres would take over. However, in recent years, there have been numerous great rappers from the city getting mainstream attention once again, like Megan Thee Stallion, Travis Scott, and Don Toliver, just to name a few. But the noticeable difference is that while these rappers sometimes rep their city in their music, they're all very different stylistically, these styles usually having very little to do with the unique sound that first made Houston popular. However, there are also some artists who merge the old school H-Town flavor with modern energy, most notably Source Walka and his TSF label, who have injected a rawer, more gangster edge into Houston's classic formula, turning the city's slow-rolling tradition into something much more volatile, but more about that later. However, there's one element of the Houston rap scene that seemingly never went out of style, but only continued to spread its influence across the country, and I'm of course talking about the infamous Purple Drank. Because while Houston's unique sound may have faded from the charts, the culture of lean quietly crept into hip-hop's bloodstream,
Long live ASAP Yams, man. Juice WRLD too. Long live Juice WRLD and ASAP Yams.
Sound may have faded from the charts, the culture of lean quietly crept into hip-hop's bloodstream, stating a whole generation of rappers, one double cup at a time. Of course, it's nothing new that drugs influence music, but the influence of lean on not just the sound of rap, but the hip-hop culture more broadly has arguably been so expansive for the past 2 decades that it's difficult to quantify. Whether we're talking about the slowdown of tempos and the birth of the so-called mumble rap, or the subsequent SoundCloud era that followed, where the lean's unholy union with another central nervous system depressant, Xanax, allowed the rappers to lose their final brain cells and produce something truly magical. Or the birth of the more melancholic trap sound that often focused on pain, numbness, and addiction, where lean was almost like a gateway drug to cheaper and more potent opioids. But unfortunately, lean has also caused untold damage in its wake, with the Houston rap scene alone having seen numerous people lose their lives due to overdoses and other health complications caused by this purple devil, including of course, as already mentioned, DJ Screw, but also Screwed Up Click artist Big Mo, who died due to a heart attack that was likely caused by the combination of obesity and overindulgence in lean. His nickname after all being Bar Baby, Bar being the name of an old pharmaceutical company that used to produce some of the bombest syrup of all time. And then
yeah, that gotta be Dave Blunt's uncle, bro. This gotta be Dave Blunt's uncle right here. Him and Dave Blunt's related somehow. Year 88, what's the word, my brother? Welcome to the stream, bro.
The combination of obesity and overindulgence in lean. His nickname after all being Bar Baby, Bar being the name of an old pharmaceutical company that used to produce some of the bombest syrup of all time. And then there was of course the tragic death of Pimp C, who was found dead inside of a hotel room in LA only a few months after Big Mo's death. His cause of death being ruled...
Look, hold on, I gotta play this for y'all. Y'all gotta hear this joint. The ball, he just mentioned that ball shit. I gotta play this little Boozy talking about ball. Let's see if we can find it. Lil Boosie talking about bar syrup. If I can't find him, I have to play this song for my nigga Pat. Hold on. Real quick, I got you one time. I'll play this.
Combination of sleep apnea, baby, by combination of obesity and
they used to call themselves bar boys.
Overindulgence in lean. His nickname, after all, being Bar Baby, Bar being the name of an old pharmaceutical company that used to produce some of the bombest syrup of all time. And then there was, of course, the tragic death of Pimp C, who was found dead inside of a hotel room in LA only a few months after Big Mo's death. His cause of death being ruled a combination of sleep apnea and accidental overdose on lean.
Alright, look, this is, I'm gonna go to the end.
Down, trying to put the cup down, trying to put the cup down.
Shout out to my brother Pat, man. Let me go to the end where you can hear Boosie talk about this shit though.
I hate up and down. He was just he just had a seizure. He was just nigga, I ain't fucking with you. I ain't fucking like 2-3 days before he died. Plummet in it. Man, I was talking like 2-3 days before he died. But he was telling me like he was just he just had a seizure and I think he told me like Gino or somebody came in and found him in the room. He was like he could have been dead. Telling me like I could have been dead, bro. And I was like, damn, you tweaking. I'm finna come out there. And like 3 days later, he died the same way.
Fredo Santana, R.I.P. Fredo. 3 days later, after having a seizure and almost losing his life, he actually died.
And a big piece of fried lobster. You know what I'm talking about? Oh boy, man, it's a full-time job, bitch. Yeah, the bitch told me I'm fat. I said, bitch, my pocket fat too, bitch. You know what I'm talking about? Some other fat thing for your jaws. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you got to love it, man. You know what I'm talking about? For real. This every.
Here go Boosie. Boosie about to talk about bar.
Every 3 years. The serve game, it was changing. It'll go from this, it'll go from bar. They'll cut it, it'll go to act, it'll go to this. Bar was what everybody in Texas was dying on. Bar, if you pour a half an ounce in a 2 liter, it's gonna shoot straight out.
Facts. Boosie telling it.
In the current era, where rappers are seemingly snorting pills that may or may not be laced with fent right before sliding on their ops, dying off one of the weakest opioids around may seem like an unlikely way to go, but even if you don't end up overdosing on it, you may just end up going bankrupt. Because particularly ever since the authorities started clamping down on prescription codeine cough syrup due to the negative headlines in the mid-2010s, the supply of this purple nectar has become increasingly low, while the prices have become sky high. And while around 2013, a rapper like Chief Keef paid about $600 for a pint of cough syrup, which was already considered to be a very high price, only reserved for one brand, Actavis, the gold standard of lean.
I'm cute.
Nowadays, the Actavis cough syrup has been discontinued due to bad publicity caused by celebrities abusing it, while other brands of cough syrup that the rappers wouldn't even look at before now go for thousands of dollars a pint, if you can even find one, which is why numerous rappers have publicly admitted the ridiculous amounts that they have spent to support this habit, including the Houston.
Nigga, Brick Baby spent $100,000 on lean. Nigga, how much money was Brick Baby getting?
Look at before now go for thousands of dollars a pint.
Free Brick Baby.
If you can even find one, which is why numerous rappers have.
Look, Brick Baby calculates spending $100,000 a year on sipping lean.
Publicly admitted the
YFN spent how much?
Ridiculous amounts that they have spent to support this habit, including the Houston rapper Sauce Walka, who actually revealed that he has spent a ridiculous $5 million on lean during.
Bro, $5 million?
Publicly admitted the ridiculous amounts that they have spent to support this habit, including the Houston rapper Sauce Walka, who actually revealed that he has spent a ridiculous $5 million on lean during his lifetime, starting his decades-long sipathon at just the tender age of 9.
Sip and drink is not like doing no other drug in America. It's the most expensive drug to do as a...
You say you spent $5 million on that?
Easy,
that's facts?
Easy.
$5 million on drink?
Easy.
Damn.
Easy. You gotta think I've been sipping drink.
That's some shit you gotta quit, my boy.
I've been sipping drinks since I was 9 years old. The codeine drink is the first drug I ever did in my life. It's the first drug I ever consumed.
Right.
However, while the real syrup has dried up and the price of a pint is pushing past a mortgage payment, lean still hasn't disappeared. In fact, the culture around it is bigger than ever, and like most things these days, it has gone digital. Now, if you're a Reddit disciple like me, you might have heard about a subreddit called r/drank, which is the successor of an earlier subreddit called r/lean. This is a place where the most dedicated sippers share pictures of their recent scores and obsess over syrup and exotic sodas like they're some kind of rare collectible.
Bruh, that's some junky shit, but okay.
One of the more interesting phenomena on this subreddit, which perfectly captures the current high status of lean as a rare and luxury item, are posts about so-called dino juice, cough syrup that's so old it's basically prehistoric, with some of the most devoted sipologists collecting these mythical pints like rare antique pieces of art. And if you throw a house party and you're not careful, you might find one of these leanologists in your grandmother's attic, rummaging through the cabinets in the hopes that they might find a 4 of that vintage Ack from 2006.
Wow. Do it still get you lit? If it's old from 2006?
It's Bear, older than you. Still purple.
Bar.
Yeah! Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's legendary, bro.
But while lean may have been the biggest force in influencing the sound of Houston and beyond, there was also another major force working from behind the curtain and shaping the infrastructure and movement behind the music. This was, of course, the biggest rap mogul to come out of H-Town, Jay Prince, who during his long reign on top of Houston's hip-hop hierarchy has become both respected and feared, with an influence that allegedly extends far beyond music, from the streets to politics, earning him a reputation as the official godfather of Houston.
Aight, don't get that nigga indicted, man. Trap. Don't get this nigga indicted, man. He old, rich, living good, man. Let that nigga rock.
James Prince, better known simply as Jay Prince, was born on the Halloween night of 1964 in Houston, and he grew up in the city's notorious Fifth Ward, also known as the Bloody Nickel due to the area's reputation, as covered in National Geographic's Drugs Incorporated series.
This is a bad neighborhood. They don't call it the Bloody Nick for nothing. There's always something going on, you know. I mean, you know, gunshots, you know, majority gunshots. If you're a newcomer, you know, it's just like having a pet bull.
Is she topping a nigga off? What is she doing?
I mean, you know, gunshots, you know, majority gunshots. If you're a
Yo, what is she doing? What is she doing, bro? She top
newcomer, you know, it's just like having a pet bull, and he wants to be a territorial. So if a newcomer comes in, you got all the pet bulls. Oh, look.
Prince's mother, Sharon Smith, was just a teenager when giving birth, while Jay Prince would later find out that the man he thought was his father, Adam Hackett, was in fact not his blood father. His real father was a man named Ernest Prince, a natural-born leader and a hustler who loved the streets. The apple didn't fall far from the tree, as Jay Prince would later write in his memoir, hustling and being a leader were qualities that he possessed from a very young age. Partly this was likely also the result of growing up in the Clean Manor apartments, located on the infamous Coke Street, where a young Jay Prince learned early that survival meant hustling.
What you think they selling on Coke Street?
In whatever way possible. Many of Prince's hustles were...
Take a guess. Put it in the comments. Which I think they selling?
Legal. He sold eggs, fixed mini bikes, and mowed lawns. But, as he disclosed in his memoir, he would also partake in illegal hustles, and many of these seemingly involved him observing the other kids in his school and neighborhood in order to find the weakest links, or followers as he would call them, so he could take advantage of them. This would include hustles like stealing entire cannabis plants from his friend's backyard, where the friend's father grew them, and then selling them to the local dealers, or urging his kleptomaniac friend to give in to his vices and skip school every day so that he could steal various items for him. Prince seems to look back at these actions somewhat proudly, because in his mind, this was seemingly him perfecting his leadership skills and
so he clearly a nigga that has to take advantage of nigga weakness.
Taking care of the people around him.
I mean, if you trying to be a boss, sometimes I ain't gonna lie, all of the bosses they do some shicey shit. On the way up.
His family. This attitude was something he had learned to survive the tough streets of the Fifth Ward, but the obvious downside to everyone except his family was that if J. Prince wanted something, he didn't care about the people he had to screw over to make it happen. A defining moment in young Prince's life would come when he was only 11 years old, as his sister Xenia was struck and killed by a train while walking home from school. This tragedy shattered so crystallized his purpose. During their final conversation the night before her death, James had promised to buy their mother a house, while Xenia had planned to get her a vacuum cleaner. Now he'd realized he would have to fulfill both promises, which meant he had to hustle harder than he had.
Wow, I'm gonna get her a house. I'm gonna get her a vacuum cleaner. Big difference in prices, but shit, we both gonna get her something.
Ever had. After high school, Prince tried the 9-to-5 life, but quickly realized he was built for bigger things after he would get laid off from his work at a bank. After this incident, Prince realized that working for someone else just wasn't for him, as he never again wanted to feel like he wasn't in control of his own destiny, and so Prince jumped back into the streets, determined to make it by any means necessary. By the age of 21, he'd already made his first $100,000 in the streets, and the following year he would invest his money also in a legitimate business, buying an abandoned building and transforming it into a car lot. And in order to help his little brother Thelton out, who only had two passions, rap and the streets, he would also build a recording studio in his car lot to try and keep his brother out of trouble. By 23, Prince had already kept his childhood promise of buying his mother that house, while also securing a 30-acre ranch for himself. However, Prince knew that the walls were closing in on him. He had made enemies in the streets and was under a constant fear that the feds would take his street operation down. He knew that if he continued on the path he was on, eventually he would be either dead or in jail. And the last nail in the coffin was Prince finding out that his own mother, the mother that he had done everything for, was stealing from him to support her drug addiction that she had hidden from him for years. After this, Prince dropped his mother's last name Smith and took the name of his biological father, Ernest Prince, so J. Prince was born. He would begin to spend a lot of the time at the studio with his brother, finding it the one place where he could actually relax. Prince had been watching New York labels monopolizing southern radio stations and clubs, while local talent stayed locked out of their own markets. The hustler in him saw an opportunity that others were missing, a chance to flip the script and build something that could change the entire landscape of southern hip-hop. So Prince decided to make a hard financial decision. He would leave the streets behind him and go fully legal, and in 1987 Prince would found Rap-A-Lot Records, named after his brother Thelton, whose rap name was Sir Rap-A-Lot. To begin the label, he signed his brother and two other artists, Raheem and Sire Jukebox, under the group name Ghetto Boys. As mentioned earlier, the Ghetto Boys lineup would end up going through some major changes during the 80s, which even included Prince kicking his own brother out of the group. But ultimately the quartet made up of Willie.
Yo, that's cutthroat. Nigga named the group after his brother. His brother got out of line, kicked his ass out.
Named Ghetto Boys. As mentioned earlier, the Ghetto Boys lineup would end up going through some major changes during the 80s, which even included Prince kicking his own brother out of the group. But ultimately the quartet made up of Willie D, Bushwick Bill, DJ Ready Red and Scarface would make a major breakthrough under the revised name Ghetto Boys, introducing a raw southern sound that would plant seeds for a massive independent movement across the region, while also inspiring other southern moguls like Master P and Birdman to follow Prince's blueprint. But J. Prince's empire wasn't built on music alone, it was constructed on respect and allegedly fear, a system that would later earn him a reputation that's not that different from the reputation infamous Rollin' 60s Crip Big U had garnered on the West Coast. During the 90s, Prince's power in Houston and beyond grew exponentially, and coming into the 2000s, he was not only invested in the rap industry, but also other avenues like boxing, where he would manage such athletes like Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones Jr. However, Prince could also be seen with some more questionable company, like the New York Kingpin, Kenneth Supreme McGriff, and the Chicago gang leader Larry Hoover, and soon, one of the first major glimpses in
that lets you know who he tied to and connected to if he with these guys.
Jr. However, Prince could also be seen with some more questionable company, like the New York Kingpin, Kenneth Supreme McGriff, and the Chicago gang leader Larry Hoover, and soon, one of the first major glimpses into Prince's possible dark side would appear, as national news would report how the DEA had ended an investigation into Prince that had already resulted in 20 convictions of other suspects, after California Congresswoman Maxine Waters had intervened and wrote to the U.S. Attorney General Janet Reno claiming that federal agents were targeting Prince due to racial prejudice. The DEA would ultimately continue the investigation, but no charges were ever brought against Prince, and to the contrary, the DEA agent in charge of the investigation would years later be convicted on numerous charges, including stealing money from suspects, falsifying government records, and committing perjury, which raised a lot of serious questions about the investigation against Prince and Rap-A-Lot. However, J. Prince's legal troubles wouldn't end there, and another major incident took place in 2007 when studio owner Ronald Bookman filed a lawsuit against him. Bookman was the owner of Studio 7303, one of Houston's premier recording facilities, where A-list artists like 50 Cent, Timbaland, and Missy Elliott laid down tracks. The studio was raking in good cash, which made it prime real estate in Prince's home turf. The trouble began when Bookman struck what seemed to be a straightforward deal with Prince. Bun B, one of Rap-A-Lot's biggest stars, would record a feature called Wrong for Dat for Ronnie's artist JV in exchange for a substantially discounted studio time. It was a win-win for both parties. Ronnie got a valuable feature from an established artist, while Prince got cheap access to a high-end studio for Bun B's 2005 album Trill, which would end up going gold. Everything was moving smoothly until Warner Brothers came knocking with a potential deal for Bookman to start his own label. But the moment Warner began showing interest in Bookman's operation, Prince would allegedly backtrack on the Bun B feature deal, seemingly seeing Bookman's plans of starting a competing label in Houston a problem that required dealing with. According to Bookman, Prince managed to derail his deal with Warner, but then in January 2007, Ronnie got word that Prince wanted to meet to make things right. Thinking he was walking into a business negotiation, he rolled up to a gym that was owned by Prince. There, Jay Prince would lead Bookman to a weight room where half a dozen associates were posted up waiting. The conversation got heated real quick, and then Prince allegedly gave his boys the signal. What followed was a vicious beatdown that left Bookman with severe injuries, after which Prince would allegedly ask him if he was done going against him or if he wanted to go to war. Instead, Bookman went to law enforcement, and after the investigation, the grand jury upgraded the charges against Prince.
So he was the original extortionist, allegedly. Allegedly. He was doing what Big U locked up for back then.
From misdemeanor assault to felonious aggravated assault, carrying up to 10 years prison time. For a hot minute, it looked like Jay Prince might actually be facing some real consequences for his actions, but Prince's legal team would pull off some magic tricks, and by July 2008, prosecutors dismissed all charges, claiming Ronnie had credibility issues and had allegedly admitted to various financial crimes during his deposition. Ronnie's attorney called it a blatant attempt to eliminate competition in the Houston rap and hip-hop music business through use of threats, intimidation, and violence, but even with that, the case fell apart. Once again, whatever the truth might have been, Jay Prince walked away unscathed. But in Houston's music scene, it would send a clear message: there could only be one king, and testing his authority could carry some serious consequences. Meanwhile, by the late 2000s, Jay Prince had also seemingly perfected the checking in culture in Houston, the same system that Big U used to run LA, where any artist bold or dumb enough to enter Houston without showing proper respect would learn the hard way.
Production in the hood. That's how we do it, you know, man.
Top flight, baby. Security.
GB running this movie set in the hood.
I'm out here.
Coming out here and checking in with GB, getting these movies done. You better know it. Anytime you want to do movies in the hood, just check it in. We can make sure it's done. Movies, videos. But if you don't check it in,
oh well. Let's go check your out.
We're gonna check you in, alright.
And perhaps no incident better illustrates his reach than his alleged power play with Jay-Z. During a 2020 Drink Champs interview, Prince flexed about how his network would call him the moment Jay-Z's private jet touched down at Houston's airport, claiming he knew exactly when and where the billionaire rapper was moving throughout the city.
They convinced somebody from Priority to go directly to Scarface without communicating with me.
Okay, that doesn't happen.
I mean, that's not the proper way.
Okay, that's not the protocol. Okay.
So the guy, when he got to the airport in Houston, I got calls that he was in the airport, right?
Okay.
I mean, imagine this.
I like that.
I would know shit when you land. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's that deep, right?
Yeah.
According to him, Jay-Z checked into a hotel but didn't check in with him, a violation that apparently didn't go unnoticed or unpunished.
A long story short, right? Long story short, he pursued his situation, right? Mm-hmm. And he was in the Ritz-Carlton, from what I hear. Mm-hmm. And it didn't go well for him because he didn't do protocol-wise.
Wow.
You know? Yeah, that's all I want to say about this.
Jay-Z would never respond to these claims publicly, which only validated Prince's version of events in the streets. And if the man who went from crack dealer to billionaire had to deal with Prince's system, then nobody was truly untouchable in H-Town. But by February 2023, Prince's tune had suddenly flipped, and during an episode of $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, he now completely denied the very idea, insisting there was...
Because he don't want to get locked up. He realizing, wait, hold up. People going to jail for this.
There was no money in extorting people to check in. On the surface, it looked like Jay Prince was making an innocent pivot, but the timing might be telling a different story, as this interview came just 3 months after Takeoff's tragic death in Houston in November 2022, just when people were pointing fingers directly at Jay Prince and his family for what happened to the Migo rapper on his home turf.
Jay Prince Jr. walked past him and was like, man, don't ask me nothing, no, because he knew what really happened, and he know Takeoff died on they watch, and he died because of some bullshit. that y'all thought y'all could.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was mad at the Prince family for a long time behind Takeoff death. Long live Takeoff, man. Rest in peace, Takeoff. The Rocket.
Just punk this dude.
However, Prince's attempt at rewriting his past would be quickly challenged, because that same month, he would get called out by none other than Charleston White, a controversial media figure and former gang member who wasn't buying Prince's newfound "I'm just a businessman" persona for a second. Now, the beef between Charleston White and Jay Prince had been simmering since late 2020, when White started running his mouth about Prince's son on social media. But on February the 18th, 2023, that long-running beef would explode into something much bigger, when Charleston White's scheduled appearance at a Houston youth mentoring event mysteriously got axed. White initially tried to play it off, posting the event flyer and claiming the internet was lying about any cancellation, but then he would suddenly drop the receipts, showing screenshots that Sonia Parker, the organizer of the Parents Against Predators community event, had indeed been told to cancel his involvement in the event. This would prompt White to post a series of videos ranting about just how deep Prince's alleged tentacles reached into Houston, especially with the boys in blue.
Houston Police Department, y'all some mother. I see why Rap-A-Lot and the rest of these run around this mother. Man, Houston Police, y'all some the Rap-A-Lot got y'all scared.
Charleston White would also claim that he'd gotten personal phone calls from both Houston's mayor and representatives from the police department's gang unit, allegedly warning him that they didn't want his presence in the city stirring up trouble with Jay Prince.
Now I'm checking in with the police department. Police department told me, hey man, you got a problem with Mr. James Prince. We don't want no problem. The city or the mayor's office called and said, hey, Mr. Charleston, we hear you got a problem with James Prince. Man, we scared of him. I swear to God, y'all, I just got the call from the Houston's mayor's office and the gang unit police department in Houston, Texas. They are scared of Rap-A-Lot.
Now, Charleston White is not necessarily the most trustworthy narrator, but if he was telling the truth, it meant that Jay Prince had the kind of juice that reached from the hoods of Houston all the way to City Hall. But as it turns out, Prince's reach might not stop at Houston's city limits, because in late 2024, allegations surfaced that would suggest his influence extended far beyond Texas, all the way to one of hip-hop's biggest federal cases in recent memory. I'm of course talking about the diddler, P. Diddy. These claims would come from Big Joe, real name Joseph Sherman, a former security guard who'd spent years watching Diddy's back before finding himself in the crosshairs of the bad boy mogul's legal nightmare. Big Joe had gotten dragged into the mess when a woman called Talia Graves had filed a lawsuit accusing both Diddy and Big Joe of assaulting her back in 2001. And as soon as this bombshell dropped, Big Joe would seemingly go into full defense mode, hitting every media outlet that would give him airtime, swearing that he'd never even met this woman and that he was only getting dragged through the mud because he'd once been on Diddy's payroll.
Question her integrity. I'm questioning her claims against me. I wasn't the head of the security. You got the wrong man. I've never seen you. I've never did anything negative with you. I've never been in the same room with you. Not only wasn't I there, I wasn't even in New York.
But it wasn't until October 2024, when Big Joe sat down with Angela Yee on her Way Up show, that he dropped a story so wild it had the internet doing double takes. According to Big Joe, Talia Graves had slid into his DMs with an offer that sounded almost unreal. She allegedly told him that all he needed to do was write a statement against Diddy, similar to what other accusers had done, and she'd make sure that his name stayed out of the lawsuit. But then, she allegedly name-dropped the one person in hip-hop you don't casually mention without a reason, Jay Prince.
Not only did she DM me, she tried to guide me through the DMs, if you read them. Right. She tried to explain to me, all I need you to do is write a statement like Bonds did, like other people did. I need you to write a statement and I'll keep you out. I said, keep me out of what? But then she got into the threats. Then she brought up, well, me and Mr. Jay Prince will be down there.
She allegedly told Big Joe that both she and the Houston Kingpin would be coming down to see him personally. According to Big Joe, Jay Prince was allegedly the puppet master pulling the strings behind Diddy's avalanche of accusers, claiming that this entire operation traced back to one humiliating night in 2014 when Diddy reportedly slapped Drake at the Live nightclub in Miami after a dispute over the song 0 to 100. According to Big Joe's...
Nah, ain't no damn way all of this is coming out because of Jay Prince. Come on, man.
Prince was allegedly the puppet master pulling the strings behind Diddy's avalanche of accusers, claiming that this entire operation traced back to one humiliating night in 2014 when Diddy reportedly slapped Drake at the Live nightclub in Miami after a dispute over the song 0 to 100. According to Big Joe's version of events, Drake never got over that public disrespect. Sure, they made nice for the cameras afterward, but behind closed doors, the Sixth God was allegedly plotting revenge with Jay Prince's help.
With this though, it was brought to my attention later on that Jay Prince, something I don't know about, had a beef with Puffy about slapping Drake. And Drake was calling Jay Prince, going off of him for not taking up for him against Puffy. And I'm like, that's none of my business. Honestly, after listening and people calling me, explaining to me that Jay Prince's lawyer is the one who put them 100 people together. I think Jay Prince is one of the main culprits behind slandering and trying to destroy Puff's character.
Now, these are just allegations floating online with zero concrete proof backing them up, and both Jay Prince and Drake have kept their mouths shut tight. But if there's even a grain of truth to Big Joe's theory, it would represent the ultimate evolution of Jay Prince's legendary power, using the entire federal court system as his personal weapon against his enemies. In any case, one thing remains clear: Jay Prince's influence has never been about visibility, it's thrived in the background where real power moves in silence. However, in a new H-Town era, a different kind of voice has been rising that's loud, flamboyant, and impossible to ignore. I'm of course talking about Mr. Drip God himself, Sauce Walka. But whilst this new era is seemingly all about dripping, splashing, and styling,
you never heard Drip or Sauce
Night married
in ESPN. You never heard Drip or Sauce on NFL. You never heard Drip, Sauce, or Splash, or no football players or any figure of a person being called Sauce or your name Sauce. You've never heard these terms before I came out into the music industry. It never existed.
There's also a darker side, because it's not only the rappers who are louder and in your face, it's also the violence, which Sauce Walka would recently experience personally, as his artist was gunned down in a targeted shooting that almost claimed his life too. So next, we take a look at the dangerous life of Sauce Walka. Sauce Walka, real name Albert Walker Mondane Jr., was born in Houston on June the 29th, 1990. His father, Albert Rage Walker Sr., nowadays known as Papa Sauce, was pursuing a career as a pro wrestler in local productions in Texas.
Wow. That make a lot of sense, bro. His pops was a wrestler. That's why he's so animated.
We have got ourselves a nice crowd out here tonight. This is Al Rage Walker.
While Sauce Walker's mother was who fought a dark battle against crack and heroin addiction, exposing him from early to a life that no child should experience.
Yeah, my mama crackhead. My mama dead now. My mama was crackhead in the street. That's how I got in this. My mama was selling that thing. My mama selling that butt. You hear me? Know what I'm saying?
You ugly, period.
Y'all live like me, man. You ain't never seen your mama suck some money. You can't even compare to the type of brain I got. I seen my mama crack.
Yeah, I thank God my mama was not hooked on drugs doing this type of shit. Thank you, mama.
Work, boy.
As early as 6 years old, Walker would already record his first song in a studio. By the time he was 14, he began posting videos on YouTube, this being the very same year that the platform was launched.
I recorded my first song in a recording studio with a microphone and headphones on my head with an engineer in 1996. I was 6 years old.
Sheesh. Wow. Damn.
This would be his first step into the world of hip-hop, but the streets were calling a young Walker just as loudly as the studio, and by the time he turned 15, the street life he was getting mixed up in would boil over when a rival street gang rolled up to his dad's place, firing over 30 bullets into the house. After this wild attack, Papa Sauce sat down his son and gave him a choice: either stay in the streets or start acting like the obedient son he raised. Sauce Walka chose the streets, where his gang, the 102 Pyru Bloods, offered what his fractured family couldn't: a brotherhood and protection. The gang even stepping in when his mother got in trouble.
Showed me extra love for that, and one of the times that my mama had a situation, the Bloods in my neighborhood had handled the situation for me.
The 102 Pyrus are a notable homegrown blood set in Houston who weren't allegedly established by California gangs or OGs coming to Texas, at least not directly. Instead, 102 Pyru members mainly came from the Houston clique Mash Mode, which mainly consisted of members who already repped Pyru but wanted to make something of their own.
So was Mash Mode came before the Pyru? Now, not before the Pyru, but before the 102. Yeah, and that's the main important thing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wanted to separate ourselves. We wanted to have our own that only we can identify as, you know what I'm saying?
One of the founding members of Mash Mode would later recollect in an interview how Sauce Walka and his close partner, Sancho Saucy, would become part of the crew when they were only about 14 years old.
I started a clique back in the gang called Mash Mode, which in turn bred the likes of a Sauce Walka and Sancho Sauce. You know what I'm saying? Sancho. Forgive me, and please edit that. You know what I'm saying? Biggest Sancho and my brother, Sauce twins. But they was a part of my clique, you feel me? And together we was a family. They a little younger than me. I've been knowing them since they was like 13, 14 years old.
And as Sauce Walka himself has told in interviews, 102 Pyru would go on to become one of the largest sets of Pyrus in Houston.
I first started to take reps to serious during that period of time, like when I was in high school, finna graduate. I was gangbanging real hard, Pyru. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, blood?
Yeah, Pyru Blood, Mash Mouth, my clique. We got legendary clicking in Houston, legendary blood set. One of the biggest original blood sets from Houston. 102 Pyru, 102 South Park Pyru, South Park Pyru, however you want to say it, Candy Cane Gang.
But while Walka was getting pulled deeper into the streets, he would also maintain his love for poetry and music, and in 2007 he would adopt the alias A-Walk and join a local rap group called Most Heard, who would build a name for themselves locally but still remained relatively minor figures in Houston's crowded rap scene. But then, in 2009, everything changed. On July the 22nd, 2009, at the annual Trey Day Festival, a community event honoring Houston's legendary rapper Trey the Truth's charitable work, the event at Texas Southern University was just wrapping up, and as the crowd of thousands began filing out at around 8:30 p.m, an altercation broke out, escalating to bottles flying. At some point, several shots were fired by several unknown suspects, resulting in the wounding of 8 people, some of them as young as 14 years old.
A community rally and concert on the campus of Texas Southern University in Houston ended in bloodshed Wednesday night following a drive-by shooting that police believe was gang-related. The school says 6 people were shot and have been treated for serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Witnesses tell police that one car drove by and opened fire on a parking lot where a popular Houston rapper was promoting community service and voter registration.
A few weeks after the incident, investigators identified Source Walka as one of the several people who opened fire following the Trey Day concert. He would surrender himself to authorities days later and was charged with a serious felony of engaging in organized criminal activity. In total, 6 other men were eventually also charged in relation to that incident, and the legal aftermath would mark a turning point in Source Walka's life, as he ultimately pleaded guilty to deadly conduct for pulling his gun out and shooting at members of a rival gang at the event.
For 3 years probation, and I ended up violating the probation, and I had to do shock probation and go to YMAC, ISF. I had to go to all these different programs. Then I went to the penitentiary. And
Walka would then be released into a halfway house, but he would end up running away. While on the run, he would meet a woman online from Orange County, California, and by using nothing but his natural swagger, he would convince this woman, who he'd never met in person, to wire $20,000 to his father's Chase account to fund his music dreams.
So long story short, I ended up meeting this girl off of social media, and I ended up popping my shit and talking to her, and I'm posting pictures, and she was like, Houston is a place that everybody always is interested in on the internet, want to come to. So long story short, I ended up, just offering a business proposition. I was young. I wasn't even trying to get as much as I ended up getting. I wasn't even trying to get there, but I was just like on some, I'm trying to rap. I'm trying to be a rapper. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do this clothing line. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. I just had a bunch of dreams at the time. I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And she believed and sent me 20 bands to my daddy Chase account. That's how I started.
This wouldn't be his last hustle, and perhaps not first either involving women or money. But this time it would give him the seed capital he needed to start a new rap persona. And so, fresh out of prison with 20 bands in his account, Walka was ready to rebuild his life. However, he needed to rebrand and transform A-Walk the gangster into something more marketable. The transformation began with a chance encounter at a Houston hotel, where Walka and his friend Sancho were trying to impress a woman who kept bragging about her father's money and status. She would boast about having bread, to which Walka would counter with his usual charisma, saying how the bread was looking a little stale and needed some sauce.
Bread over there, y'all see, that's cool, y'all having money, baby, but one thing about a sandwich though, what is the sandwich without the flavor though? What about the mayo though? What about the sauce though? Cause that bread over there looking a little stale though, you know what I'm saying? They're like old money. That old money over there looking a little stale though, baby. You ain't got no flavor on that sandwich over there though. You ain't got no sauce over there. Yeah. I got some bread over there, but do it taste good? And when I was, my twin look at me, Sancho look at me, but it was like a big light bulb came out the sky, bing, and she just loved it. Yeah. And then the whole conversation changed. She started laughing. Sauce? What you mean? I got sauce.
This conversation would end up sparking the inspiration, and a new identity was born. A-Walk became Sauce Walka. Sancho became Sancho Saucy, and together they were the Sauce Twins.
The name's gonna be like, we the Sauce Twins. I'm Sauce, cause I said Sauce.
That's you.
I'm Sauce. That's what I want my name to be. Man, I'm Sauce. I'm Sauce. And then boom, it just went from there. I took the Scott Walker or the A Walker, my name again. Sauce Walker. You know what I'm saying?
This wasn't just a name change, it was a complete philosophical shift. And while still acknowledging their street ties, they would focus on style, wordplay, and original slang to create something that would be unique in Houston and beyond.
Me and my twin, we just looked at all the shit that Houston was missing, and it was like, okay, when we come out, we know can't nobody say nothing about our past, can't nobody say about how we getting money and what we do or what we've been through. So okay, boom, we got that to the back. But what Houston need, we don't got our own lingo no more. We don't talk like, so we gonna come out and talk like us. But we still gonna sound like Texas, Houston, but we gonna say shit that only me and you say and make everybody else say what me and you say. You know what I'm saying? And that worked.
This would involve the use of terms like drip, which Walka has even claimed to have invented in the hip-hop context.
Was that, did you come up with that?
Yeah, man, I invented the splash, the drip, the sauce, all that.
That's you?
Yeah, that's me and my brother. Me and Sancho Saucy, me, the Sauce Twins. Me and my brother Sancho Saucy, and then my brother Saucy Man and Payday. But it started originally with the Sauce Twins.
Drip, together with other terms like splash and calling people twin, became ways for Walka and his crew to represent their brand, which was all about being loud and flamboyant.
Splash, look at that. We in my motherfucking bundle, dripping. We ain't no motherfucking rappers, you hear me? Yeah.
But there was also substance behind this style, as Walka took his poetry background and applied it to his music, developing a storytelling ability that was almost cinematic in scope.
His ghetto gospel series is fire. He be really talking.
When he rapped about street life, it didn't sound generic, but rather it was vivid, specific, and often filled with unexpected emotional depth. In 2014, Walka would found the Source Factory, or TSF for short, a label which marked his transition from street figure to legitimate businessman, who would create a platform to amplify Houston voices and establish his entrepreneurial credentials. By 2015, the Source was spreading, and a collaboration track with Sosa Man and the Migos would eventually rack up over 3 million views on YouTube. The Source Twins and TSF were building momentum and moving from regional sensation towards national recognition. But their growing success would also bring some complications, because as Sauce Walka's profile rose, a regional conflict began brewing with Fort Worth artist Go Yayo. This beef ultimately crossing the line from rap rivalry to real-life violence.
Bet you can't get out your car and show it. Since you the mother king of Fort Worth, see such a gangster, I bet you can't get out your own car in your own city and show it. That's what a real tough like me, y'all tough than you. Oh, play with me in my city. They gonna touch me nowhere in the state of Texas. You ain't never touched me in the state of Texas. You been getting touched on. You wanna act like you ain't. Tell the truth.
Pause. He said you been getting touched on. You wanna act like you ain't.
Put a real tough like me, y'all tough than you. Oh, play with me in my city. They gonna touch me nowhere in the state of Texas. You ain't never touched me in the state of Texas. You been getting touched on. You wanna act like you ain't. Tell the truth, bro. You really get me out of my character. But you know what's up. Yeah. You know what happened. You don't know, but I don't even. Hey, man, listen, man.
Despite popular misconception that their feud begun when Yayo started calling himself the King of Texas, the actual catalyst was allegedly far more street level and involved Go Yayo flipping a catchphrase from a deceased Houston figure named Kenny Lou, transforming Scoot Up into Push Up.
He bit on it, but that was already tension from a song that I made called Boom God Part 2, and I said something in a song called Push Up, Scoot Up. And that's where that pussy come from.
This seemingly minor lingo appropriation apparently violated an unwritten code, as Scoot Up Gang represented a real Houston street organization. Houston natives, including associates of Sauce Walka, would reach out to Yayo requesting him to cease using the phrase, but Yayo, who was backed by his murder gang squad, would dismiss these warnings.
I've been saying push up. I got old song saying push up.
The situation would eventually escalate dramatically when Yayo, along with his homeboys, Murder Gang PB and Bran, rolled into Houston, effectively announcing his presence in enemy territory on social media.
Hey man, you know what's going on? Houston, Texas, man, we after. Hey, we pushing up. Wherever y'all want us to come to, pushing up, scoot up, whatever y'all want to say, man, I'm after.
The situation would soon turn deadly when attackers would open fire on their vehicle.
We just be in charge the whole time. Yeah, that shit happened. Even when the shots start firing, I'll be in charge with the nigga Yale. He was like, this nigga, like, nigga, it's for real. I'm like, what the f? And then he was like, go, bitch, go.
So you were driving?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
He was like, go, bitch, go. And I'm pressing the gas. I'm like, bitch, it won't.
get out.
Bran would catch a bullet during the ambush and tragically lose his life due to the injuries, while Go Yayo would squarely blame Sauce Walka for the deadly setup, believing that he had deliberately lured them into danger with a phone call to get his location right before the shooting.
This the real reason why I don't like Sauce Walka. You know what I'm saying? When my little brother Brandon died, RIP, April 9th, 2020, I'm on the phone with Walka. They called me and said, "Where you at? I see you on the south side. Stay there. I'm finna meet you with the drink." You know what I'm saying? I said, "I ain't on the south side." He said, "Where you at?" I said, "I'm on 45. Nigga, Sauce Walka.
Yet amid all the feuding, Walker's musical evolution was quietly earning respect from hip-hop's highest echelons, with Jay-Z naming his track Ghetto Gospel as one of his favorite songs of 2018 on Tidal. But unfortunately, as Sauce Walka's fame grew, so too did the controversy around him.
He is a bona fide rap sensation.
Nigga called his op and said, "Stay there." He said, "Nigga, I ain't even there. I'm here." Told him his real location. Nigga, what you thought was gonna happen?
With millions of views for his music videos. But investigators say this group, known as the Sauce Factory, is a documented gang.
In 2018, things would go all the way left as the feds began targeting the TSF Collective, claiming that they were not a record label, but actually a documented gang that was known for criminal activity and were now being investigated for trafficking. The investigation would hit high gear after a disturbing Thanksgiving incident the previous year, where an underage girl trapped in a North Houston motel made a desperate call for help, claiming she was being forced into at gunpoint.
This deputy testified the investigation started with a Thanksgiving call for help from an underage girl at this motel off the North Freeway.
She said that she was forced and that she was also threatened by a handgun.
When authorities connected the dots, several people with alleged TSF ties were slapped with charges, leading to a full-scale raid on the house, serving as both Sauce Walka's residence and the TSF headquarters.
And Daniela, we've learned tonight from the FBI that more than 200 personnel, tactical teams from all across the state, came in and surrounded the homes of these 14 accused criminals, arresting them at 6 o'clock in the morning.
With his empire under the microscope, Sauce Walka would go into damage control mode, and facing local news cameras, he would completely reject any gang narrative.
Why do police label the Sauce Factory a gang?
Honestly, I don't know why I don't know if it's just probably a misunderstanding from the videos or something.
Ultimately, Walka himself managed to avoid charges, and in the meanwhile, his business empire would continue to expand in surprising directions. When COVID-19 locked down the world in 2020, traditional revenue streams dried up for most artists who relied on touring to bring home the big bucks. But Sauce Walka wasn't like most artists, and he would seemingly use his creative mind to bring his old skills learned in the streets into the new digital age, pivoting into what some may call digital pimping, but was officially known as OF management, and which, unlike the real deal, is in fact completely legal. By his own telling, this move would generate a fortune worth millions through management of multiple models' accounts.
It's true, you made 7 figures off OnlyFans?
Yeah, gross 8, made 7.
Wow.
Yeah, off of 4 years, but not just off of my account, off of owning multiple accounts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, whether these eye-popping numbers actually check out or not, the digital pimping strategy showed Sauce Walka's uncanny ability to spot opportunities where others saw only obstacles.
It was suggested to me by some of the women that was in my life, and then me being a businessman, me understanding numbers, me being a visionary to see, oh, okay, wow, this is an opportunity to where we could turn photography and videos of beautiful women into real estate.
Sauce Walka would also continue grinding hard with his music, collaborating with big-name artists like A$AP Rocky, Bun B, and Travis Scott. But while he had spent years trying to rid himself of the street gangster image, the streets would seemingly never fully release its grip. And on March the 22nd, 2025, things would go left once again, when he and a 27-year-old TSF artist, Say So P, real name Latorian Hunt, were involved in a shooting incident outside a hotel in Memphis. Sauce Walka would end up taking a bullet to the thigh and was hospitalized, but unfortunately, his friend wasn't so lucky, as Say So P would end up losing his life. Memphis police immediately stated that this was no random hit, claiming that Walka and his partner had been targeted. But things would soon get even wilder, because within days of the shooting, one of the alleged shooters, 21-year-old Jaden Dandridge, would turn up dead, but not back in Memphis, but in Houston, Walka's home turf, while a second suspect, 22-year-old Kevin Brown, would seemingly go on a run, facing charges of first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and weapons violations. Unsurprisingly, the timing and location of Dandridge's death raised eyebrows, and while TSF have not been linked to the slaying, Sauce Walka would post an interesting series of pictures of him flexing stacks of cash in front of an emergency care center, the posts also including being the song Hail Mary from Tupac, which is known for its themes of revenge and street justice. The post had fans reading between the lines and theorizing that the street code of eye for an eye seemed to have played out in real time. But whatever the truth may be, this was yet another example of Source Walker's existence in the dangerous no man's land that's familiar to many who have tried to go legit while keeping one foot in the streets. Source Walker is undoubtedly one of the most charismatic rappers to come out of Houston in recent years.
When Sauce Walka and the Sauce Twins came into the rap game, we completely changed the entire scape of the world with lingo.
Whilst also being an undeniably gifted businessman. But whether he'll outrun his past or become another cautionary tale about the Houston street's unforgiving nature remains to be seen. However, if everything does go right, Source Walka might just become the person to lift the Houston rap scene back to the Main Street limelight that it truly deserves.
Shout out to my nigga Sauce Walka. Shout out to Traveler Ross. Good video. Sauce Walka, man. I hope he stays safe out here, gang, because as you can see, man, niggas want to see him down. Let me see. Where we at with it? Da-da-da-da-da. We gonna go... What you laughing at, 88? Let me see, look. Cops hunt down 16-year-old mass shooter.
On April 28, 2024, exclusive body cam footage of a sergeant from the Seminole County Sheriff's Office in Florida shows the immediate response to a mass shooting inside an event venue. The investigation proceeding reveals shocking surveillance footage of the incident, as well as the surprising verdict of the shooter.
I can't hear with all the noise. On the ground, don't you move. Who else? Who else?
Nobody. He's on shooter.
You got at least one hit. Where? He stays right there. 214 Seminole. Apparently we got a victim hit on the premises with a gunshot. Hit FT started. Hey, Nick, with me. Let's find this victim.
Hey, somebody shot over here,
Okay, hey, I got it. No. Hey, you still got a female down over here. We got a male.
Somebody is hit over here on the other side. Let's go.
We got multiple people down with gunshots. Where's he hit at? Tie that off higher on his leg. Higher on his leg. All right, come on, let's go. Who shot over here?
One of them niggas that had to carry.
He's right there. He's over there. Who's there? Somebody. He got shot.
There's two people down there.
Oh, give me a shirt. Give me a shirt.
They're right there on the ground.
She's trying to... Yo, you don't want to be ass naked in front of the cop? She ain't naked, but you don't want to... She looks, give me a shirt. He like, bitch, you came out here like this?
Who's there? Somebody. He got
shot. There's two people down there.
Oh, give me a shirt.
Look, she out here.
They're right there on the ground.
Hey, Nick. Nick, do you have that firearm? Yeah. Secure it in your pocket.
I got a kid right here.
Who's with the other guy?
One of my other guys.
Go with him.
What's the word? Where is she hit at? Where is she hit at?
Where's she hit at? Where's she hit at?
When shots were fired, people jumped out the back windows and fell all the way down to the ground to get to safety, which caused this female's injury.
Never stay there. We got paramedics coming. Hey man, have you been hit by a gunshot?
No, I'm good, bro.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm just like...
Everybody out here seems to be okay. Hey, have somebody stand by with her. She jumped out of the back and got hurt. I can't hear anything on the radio.
Yo, that's a far jump. I ain't gonna lie. That's a far ass jump right here, bro. Look, this shit kind of high up. Look.
People jumped out the back windows and fell all the way down to the...
Look, this shit kind of far, bro.
ground to get to safety, which caused this female's injury.
Have her stay there. We got paramedics coming. Hey man, have you been hit by a gunshot?
No, I'm good, bro.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm just like.
They thought everybody out here seems to be okay. Hey, have somebody stand by with her. She jumped out of the back and got hurt. I can't hear anything on the radio.
You know they ain't jump. Look, they fast. I can tell you who didn't jump.
The back and got hurt.
These two did not jump. Neither one of their ass would have made that jump.
I can't hear anything on the radio.
Yeah, I ain't jumping.
Handcuffs, they're trying to attack him. Everybody back up, everybody. Right now.
He's a shooter.
I know. Hey. Stand up. Stand up.
He came out here with no shoes on?
Stand up, CJ. Do what they say. Call you over.
Young ass nigga too.
Gotta get up. Out.
No ID. Sorry, no. Walk over here in my car.
Bro, no ID, bro.
Right there. Don't shoot me. Right there. I've got the shooter in custody.
I didn't shoot no one, sir.
Oh, I just seen a big old booty.
Right there. I've got the shooter in custody.
I didn't shoot no one, sir. Bro, I didn't shoot nobody, bro. We're gonna take him to the hospital.
No. Leave him right there.
Nah, man, he's doing
FD's coming. He's fine.
I didn't shoot nobody.
Bro, yes the
Hey, don't talk to him.
You think I shot you?
If you saw it, stand over here.
You had that head on. You had that head on.
Stand over here.
She mad. She ain't playing. Yo, she's not playing. What you talking about? Let me see your leg,
Take him to the hospital.
No. Leave him right there.
Nah, man, he's doing
FD's coming. He's fine.
I didn't shoot nobody. Bro, yes the
Hey, don't talk to him.
You think I shot you?
If you saw it, stand over here.
You had that head on. You had that head on.
Stand over.
She a little sexy, John, too. She mad as hell. She mad as hell. She a little sexy, John. Was talking business with my associate. Hey, my boy, get that money, brother.
Stand over here.
It wasn't me.
It looks like I've got another female gunshot victim with a graze to the leg.
It wasn't me.
I'm gonna kill you and your mama.
Oh, shit. He want to go to jail.
wasn't me.
I'm gonna kill you and your mama. Back up. You're going to jail.
It wasn't me, sir.
Hey, I need to get this guy secure.
Yo, that nigga's crazy. Look at Unc. Unc not playing with this little nigga. Unc is pissed off. Slapped him with all his jewelry on. He said, you got any ideas, sir? About what? Oh my God.
Back up. You're going to jail.
It wasn't me, sir.
Hey, I need to get this guy secured. They're trying to attack him.
Hey, get back. Hey, you won't get back.
There's somebody around the corner that's apparently been hit in the leg. Have him bring up here. Tell them not to move this guy.
Let's raise that jacket up.
Shorty a little bad.
Have him bring
Shorty
up
a
here.
little boo thing. Here she go. Shorty go right here with the blonde. That little fatty. And Shorty right here. Who I see two. I spot. And three. Shorty right here, baddie two. Look at these back. Oh my God. What state is this? You got 1, 2, 3. Nice shapes.
This guy.
I would say 4, but I can't tell what this one is like.
Let's raise that jacket up and tell me it's a jacket to his head.
What?
Tell me if it's a jacket to that. I'm not drunk. Let me see if it's a jacket. Let me see if it's a jacket. You shot me.
Guys, back up. Back up. Let's go. Back up.
We'll get
Back up. Back up. Back up.
You got a cage? Come on.
Yes, sir.
Secure him. Hey, pat him down one more time. We got the gun though.
I swear to God.
Hey, did we get him tourniquet? Okay, that's
He's tourniquet.
I know your guy had
Fig Street. And it ain't Fig, though. It ain't Fig.
a kit. So.
She got grazed.
Some type of party just let out. They was in a party. That's why they all dressed like that.
All right, so just these two right now.
Yes.
Yes.
To knowledge, yes.
Hey guys, do me a favor. Start asking these people if anybody actually saw it. If they didn't, we need to start clearing people out of here. Okay, what's that? If they did, we need them to stick around though. All right, Nick, let's start isolating who were witnesses, who saw anything.
Apparently the girl who got shot said she has everything on video.
Run in and see if you can make contact with Jason and see if he can pull up the security camera footage inside and see if they've got everything on that too.
Okay, I still have the guy's firearm on me.
Okay, just hold on to it. Actually, you know what? Walk it over to Jerry and hand it off to Jerry. That's the gun they pulled off of him? Right. Okay, so just secure it in your car and keep everything with this guy. Does he have the mag too?
Yeah,
okay.
So. What hospital are you going to?
Lake Monroe.
Where's the suspect?
He's in Jerry's car.
Okay.
We secured him. I had to hide him behind the fence here because people were trying to get at him.
Just one shooter, right?
What's that? Just one.
Yeah. It was at least 10. It sounded like at least 10.
Yeah, it was.
You were here too?
Yeah, we were both standing out front. We heard pop, 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 pop. All right, all these people that aren't involved need to get out of here. Right here.
I'm trying to get them going. They're trying to look for some shit. They won't listen to me.
Where did the actual shooting take place?
Right here.
Hey, listen. Everybody listen to me.
My sister has her keys and need that key.
She walked up thick as hell. Look at her.
Hey,
Nah, yeah, you too thick.
listen.
I'll enjoy you though. Nice titties.
Everybody listen to me.
My sister has her keys and need that key, please.
Okay, I need everybody out of here. This is an active crime
Okay,
scene
we
now.
can leave it. But my sister in the evac, she want to give me her keys.
Okay.
She the one who got shot.
Okay. Do we know where her keys are at? Where
She has them. She has them. I'm trying to leave them. I'm trying to go. We're from Daytona.
Okay, well, I don't know. She's going to CFR. You can go up there and get the keys from her. But in the
Okay,
interim,
thank
I
you.
need everybody out
Okay,
of here.
all right.
Ladies, I appreciate you sweeping up, but I don't need you sweeping up any potential evidence, so I need everybody out of this area, please. How about you, partner? Did you witness what happened?
Nah.
I need you out of here, buddy.
We get out of here. Yeah, we DJ.
Once you get your stuff, go out that's the longest way possible to get out of here.
All right.
Don't step through here or anything, okay? All right. You didn't sweep anything, did you?
No, I almost swept that. I almost swept that, and then I saw it.
Oh, you have to leave everything?
Leave everything. Leave everything. Just get out of my crime scene, please.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
sorry.
Walk that way. Walk that way. Walk around the screen. Ma'am, walk around. No, walk around the screen. I got evidence right here. Hey, man.
You the man. Yeah, you the man. Good say it.
Need you guys to get going, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job, brother. We saw you guys run in the front door, so we tried to run in the side in case somebody tried to run out away from you. But we couldn't get out because people were flooding out the back door. Wherever that's at.
He literally was right here, and I seen his arm lift up, and I heard the shot, and I just happened to be like right here in this area. So I just run over and grabbed him, chopped his arm, and pulled his arm down. And he tried to get away. All right,
well, we're definitely gonna need a statement from you, man. So hang out for a bit. Hey, the guy that you saw,
he really came in there and saved the day, bro. He really came in there and saved the day for real. Like he came in, dude had a loaded gun, came in, snatched his arm down, all that.
He grabbed. You definitely saw him doing
100%. When I grabbed him from over there, he kept trying to run, and nobody's getting to me. I held him down.
While officers look at the event venue's surveillance footage, we've obtained this exact file that shows the same footage they're about to watch. A fight breaks out near the corner.
Oh snap!
Obtained this exact file that
so let's try to watch.
shows the same footage they're about to watch. A fight breaks out near the corner of the pool, which quickly leads to this suspect discharging their firearm. This is the same male that was arrested in the body cam footage. Surprisingly, he wasn't the only person to fire their gun. Muzzle flashes can also be seen coming from this area in response to the other male firing his gun. More body cam footage shows officers reacting to this exact surveillance footage.
Something happens here, this fight. And then you see
your fingers in the way.
Sorry, right here. You see that guy?
Yep.
That's him.
He's right on top.
And that was the kid. That's all it was. Boom, right there.
How crazy. Man, look how fast everybody cleared out of there.
Yep. And I can't beat it. Holy shit.
Before getting to the repercussions for the people involved in this incident, even more exclusive body cam footage gives a closer look at the many victims involved in this incident. Even more
This is great body cam footage.
exclusive body cam
Look at these shorties right here.
footage
Boom, boom, boom. Cheeks out.
gives a closer look at the many victims the shooting
Cheeks out.
caused that night.
You got shot, man.
Where's the shooter? Y'all don't see nothing? Oh, they already grabbed it. Perfect, because we got 2 shot out there. We got a female shot in the leg. Where they shot? Where's they shot? We got one down back of the cabana too. Where they shot? Where's he shot at?
The police right here. You right here. Come here. The police here.
We got the shooter.
Get your ass down.
I'm going. Oh. Hey, we got 2 more down. Where's he shot? Where's he shot?
I'm good, bro.
Hey, is she shot?
Where's my mama?
She shot?
No, her back hurt.
Hey, you shot? What's up? Are you shot?
No, I can't find the car. Please, I
what
need
car?
help. I don't know.
Drunk ass. Are you shot? No. I can't find the car. Like, bro, where's your nigga at?
Hey, are you good?
No.
You shot? What's up? Are you shot?
No, I can't find the car. Please, I
what
need
car?
help. I don't know, but I want to go away from here now. I'm so scared.
Just go out that way. Go out that way for now.
Put it right here. Go out that way.
Right here. If you want, she can sit it down.
No.
Come on.
Thank you.
Just hold it. Just hold it. It's not that deep, but take your pressure off. Sit down for me.
Yeah, sit.
Just lean down. Sit down. Sit down.
Huh? Sit.
Elevator. Sit down.
Come on.
Okay, just sit down. Just sit down.
I'll hold it.
Damn, he shot a baddie.
Yeah.
I go sit.
Let's go!
Hey, you got more guys?
Yeah, I need. Do you have gloves?
I gotta get my key.
Yeah,
rapper.
Okay, sit down too. Take your pressure off that leg. Sit down. Just sit down.
Yes, I'm good. I'm just bleeding.
The shooter who fired first was identified as Christopher Bowie, who was only 16 years old at the time of the incident. The second shooter was identified as a 20-year-old from Tallahassee, but he was not named a suspect, arrested, or charged with a crime in the shooting. 10 people, including star wide receiver Tank Dell for the Houston Texans, were taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds, mostly to their legs. All victims recovered from their injuries. Christopher Bowie was charged with 3 counts of attempted second-degree murder while discharging a firearm, 3 counts of criminal attempt to solicit or conspire to commit a capital felony, 3 counts of committing a first-degree felony with a weapon, and 1 count of possession of a firearm by a minor under the age of 18. He pleaded no contest and was found guilty on all charges. On April 28, 2025, exactly 1 year after the shooting, Bowie, who is now 17 years old, was sentenced to 10 years in prison, as well as 5 years of
Bro, he went in jail a YN, coming out of OG.
probation and a requirement to undergo mental health treatment. After his sentencing, Bowie filed a notice of appeal. He has since been assigned a public defender, and the state has filed an acknowledgement of the notice. Bowie was not involved in the initial fight that broke out, yet he still opened fire into the crowd. Authorities have not established a direct connection between
That's why little niggas like this don't need guns.
Bowie and the individuals involved in the fight, and his specific intent or motive has not been publicly disclosed.
And this was supposed to be a night of music and having
What's this? How an Instagram model destroyed a family.
On August 10th, 2024, officers in Miami, Florida.
What about this driver? Is he responding?
He dead. He dead in the car. The 2 of them dead.
No. Hold on a second.
He smacked.
What?
Señora, ¿tú estabas manejando? Sí, ahora viene, rescue's gonna take care of it. No. Why are we saying that? Okay. Siéntate. La que se iba. Sí. Miami. I also have the possible 18, and they have, I think it's a female on the ground. They're holding her because she wanted to flee the scene. I need extra help here, and I think I have 2 in the vehicle that have passed away.
Oh my God. 2 in the vehicle that have passed away.
Hold on traffic at Miami,
Walka's on the corner.
Are you okay?
Walka's on the corner. Get flagged.
okay.
Get flagged. I know they answered the heaven. I know it's in the crystal. The crystal.
4210 or 4401, that red dot up there.
Herkimer Diamond in New York. Herkimer Diamond in New York.
Don't come here with that crazy shit.
Herkimer Diamond in New York. Herkimer Diamond in New York.
You're gonna get some help now. Calm down.
Oh my God. Herkimer Diamond in New York.
4210.
Calm down.
Did you read that?
She the one calls
I just got here. I'm trying to gather some.
Yo, what the hell? Food trucks are expensive as to buy one, probably.
She trying to jump into somebody else's car. Yeah.
What car was she driving?
Oh my God. Now we live for
Let me get an officer.
Officers will later identify this
Who is this? I ain't gonna lie, she look good on Instagram.
woman as Macy Lathers, a self-proclaimed Instagram model and alleged companion in the club scene of Miami. With just under 16,000 followers, her Instagram shows her in and around nightlife, strip clubs, and other similar events.
Yo, oye, camina para allá. Yo, hey, mueve. Ok, mueve para allá, por favor. Camina para allá.
Grab her because she's under the influence of something.
What if I want for show me a 15 arrival? We're gonna need more units.
Hola, ¿tú fuiste testigo? ¿Viste algo? Hi.
I saw the whole thing.
Okay, great.
What the hell?
And the light had just for us to go.
So you were behind him?
Black truck came all and hit all those cars.
And that black car might have been her car? Or the...
No, she was in.
She pissed on herself.
She was in the Mercedes?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're saying that the black car ran the red light.
Ran the red light.
Okay, oye.
Oh, the black car ran over. Let's see.
Todo el mundo
This is why you gotta be sober though.
aquí, move. Muévanse para allá, mueve. Todo el mundo para allá, ya. Let's go, todo el mundo para allá, please. Everybody go. If you didn't see what happened, go.
And she was up by herself in that car?
I believe so.
We got another person there. Okay, that's it. We got a large crowd
She not asleep.
here.
Yeah.
She was wide awake, nigga.
Flush them out.
Look, she wide awake, brother.
Is the bus involved?
No.
She high as hell, bro.
Yeah. She's out of it.
Dale, si no vieron lo que pasó, vete. Si vieron, que se quede. Ay, ¿tú dices lo que pasó? ¿Tú dices lo que pasó? Bueno, si no va, tengo.
Let's flush these people out this way. We got witnesses too that we need to be getting.
Well, they probably far from the scene, so.
Let's go. Go. Go.
Bro, let's cuff this girl.
Come on. Get up.
Did you read your income in?
Nobody else saw? You guys gonna have to move.
Dale, bueno, que se mueve, ya llamo.
Bro? Oh, come on, let's go. Go.
Dude, let's wait for rescue to check out.
Caminan.
Take her hands from there.
Everybody, let's move them. Okay, yeah, we have a lady here.
Relax.
For traffic homicide, they're gonna need the whole thing.
Stay here. I'm gonna keep pumping cars this way.
Watch my eyes.
I don't want to wait for like.
The water. Wait, we live in a dome. This is the Hollywood scene.
Just hang tight with me, okay? Just follow me everywhere.
Bro, it's two of y'all police officers. Y'all can't get her little ass in cuffs.
Just stay close to me, okay?
Yeah, we're gonna keep on going back. Yeah, we got you.
Because we still got her.
Yeah.
412 advisory is the bus. If they're not involved, then let them go northbound.
Stay right there.
Hey, mama.
Stay right there.
No, but
Let's go, please.
Carry me, please.
¿Tú dices lo que pasó?
I have a
You
witness.
got witnesses already?
Ow. Everything apart.
Sure, I'm working here. What do you need? This side, we need to move more people back. Are you involved here?
No.
Okay. No footage or anything that will capture what happened? Okay, please go this way. All right.
She don't want to be involved.
What'd you take?
2C pink. 2C drugs. He's a little
the corner.
Oh, she took that Diddy. That Diddy.
What happened? Okay, please go this way. All right.
What'd you take?
Tusi pink.
Tusi pink.
Pink.
Damn, not the Tusi. And that's allegedly what that football player nigga was passing around on a boat. Cardi B, new boo. Passing that joint around on a boat to some other joints.
Tusi drugs.
Allegedly.
¿Ustedes vieron el accidente? ¿Alguno de ustedes? No, por favor, pásase por atrás de esa pared ahí mimito.
No, go that way. You. Okay, you go over there.
Go in the white car. Go in the car. My phone. AI.
Hola. ¿Alguno de ustedes vieron algo? No.
Oh my gosh, it's a curse at the White House. 18. I think it's like 600 Northwest.
Yeah. MDMA.
Yeah. Are you involved? Or you witnessed?
Not involved. I was witness to the crash. And then in the white car took off. That's her over there. Everybody basically took the light.
Everybody? What color was your light?
I was driving.
Okay, go. I'm wasting my time with it.
Go this way. Get half a block with the tape. No pedestrians.
Go. This way.
What's going on? What's going on?
You live there.
I got work right there.
Okay, go ahead. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Shut up! Shut up! Relax! No, you're not. Mom!
Miami, who do you have?
What happened? I got here.
Miami, who do you
This is what I
have?
found. It's in the safe. It's in my safe. It's in the key. It's the crystal. Oh, we lived forever. Everybody was pulling me over there about the girl that was trying to flee. Art. We need to create clothes. It's just gonna get cold. He's possibly the offender. No. The witness told me that he was behind the Mercedes and that the black car had run the red.
The problem is half the people, when I was asking them, they said they didn't see anything.
What's her condition? I think she's under the influence of something.
Did she cause it or just involved?
She was involved. We don't know what part. I only have one witness, so.
Where's the one?
He left already. He left me his phone number.
Find out if these family members are witnesses or not.
Okay, ¿ustedes son familiares de alguien?
Trabajamos con ella. Trabajamos con ella y decía aquí yo.
Ella fue ¿Cuál carro es tuyo? Ma'am.
No, come around the side. Recovery position.
She's what?
Pissed.
¿Tú estabas manejando?
No.
Ok, ¿quién estaba en el carro contigo?
Mi novio.
Ok, tu novio. ¿Nada más dos personas?
Y una de atrás.
Y uno de atrás, ok.
Miami, we need every record in the world.
¿Tú estabas adelante?
Y el otro señor que iba a trabajar.
¿Y ustedes vieron algo?
Sí, cuando se estaba en el semáforo y cuando vinieron de repente.
Relax.
Papi, tú espérame aquí en esa esquina.
Este es mi carro, no lo tengo.
Déjalo ahí, nadie lo va a mover. Espérame ahí en la esquina esa, ¿ok?
Are they gonna bring me to him? Are they gonna bring me to him?
They're coming now. So you need to relax.
Mami, espérame aquí. ¿Ya te vio el rescue?
No.
4510 reference. Espérame aquí. ¿Ya
So wait for me here, rescue.
te vio el rescue?
No.
4510 reference. I need rescue here to check on one of the passengers in the vehicle.
Just stay like how I told you, okay?
She's gonna be at Miami 8 on the west corner.
So as far as you think we got one occupant there?
Espera aquí, mami, te voy a coger rescue que te chequeo, ¿ok? Ok, espérame aquí. Papi, espérame ahí, por favor, ¿ok? ¿Este es tu carro?
Sí.
¿Nadie te lo va a mover?
No, tranquilo.
Espérame ahí. To answer your question, she is the front passenger of the Suzuki. She needs rescue.
Stay like how I told you, okay?
Relax, stay on your left because you're going over.
Stay like that. Look that way.
Ma'am, can you stay over there looking that way?
Put that leg straight.
No, that's good. She'll be sideways, brother. Wait,
Relax.
I'm gonna need 40 years of age.
Oh.
Let's go, sir. Come on. Let's go. She's good, right? Vamos a levantarla y llevarla ahí.
He said you staring at a dead body for no reason.
Keep on walking. Hey, I'm giving you a lawful order to continue walking. You want to go to jail or not? If you continue to talk, you're gonna.
My laws, and I'm going.
If you know your laws, go ahead and walk past that post. Let's go. Yeah, possibly two. Dead, bro. One of them days.
Tú estabas en adelante, ¿no? Sí. Ok, ¿qué pasó? ¿En qué dirección estaban?
I think you were involved in the crash.
She probably won't be able to walk.
Does anything hurt you?
Bobby, set up a tape there, please.
I need those.
Sir, you want to go to jail? Keep on walking now. It's a lawful order. Set up a tape before I take him. If he continues, take him to jail.
That's my truck.
Okay.
Him and his truck out.
Benzo?
That dude weird. He just want to stare at a dead dude that just died. You can't sleep there, miss. He's stupid. You can't sleep there, miss. She out of it, bro. She high as hell. What they say, high as the Dickens.
I no problem, bro.
Did they get other people from the car?
Yeah, more.
Hola, molestia, somos compañeros de trabajo. Necesito saber si el señor está con vida. Está muy nervioso aquí.
Esa respuesta, ¿qué tú vas a hacer con él ahora?
No, nada, pero
okay,
estoy como nervioso y ando así.
Escúchame.
My mom. Yes, I died in the crash.
Pero una cosa que necesito que me haga, tranquilízate.
Yo le voy a colaborar.
Okay, yo sé que es duro.
Sí, es duro, pero...
Quédate aquí, ¿ok? ¿Tú estabas manejando el carro?
Sí, no, yo estaba acá
y tú eres testigo.
Sí. ¿Por dónde ibas? ¿De dónde venían? ¿Iban a trabajar o venían de trabajo?
Íbamos a trabajar apenas. Y él siempre maneja despacio.
A white what?
Mercedes. My name's Mercedes. My name is Mercedes. Mercedes.
Calm down.
Quédate aquí, papá. Escúchame. ¿De dónde tú eres?
De Venezuela.
¿Venezuela qué parte? ¿Caracas, Maracaibo?
Caracas.
Que viva Venezuela, ¿verdad?
Gracias.
Ok, espérate aquí.
Vale, tranquilo.
Okay.
I'm from the future.
Awesome, amazing.
Oh, Crystal Ball.
Are you on drugs?
Yeah. Tuesday. Oh, wow.
4514. So now that we have detained and you're going to advise fire rescue, she just told us now she's on Tuesday.
Well, she's not high, she's on water.
What's the injuries she had?
She has like little abrasions and stuff.
Okay.
She's just intoxicated.
She needs to schedule Walka. That's what you're advising?
Yes, ma'am.
There's a body in that car in the back seat. It looks like a 45, yes.
Are you guys for this one? Or are you guys going over?
She's gonna be one of the vehicles that got into a collision.
Is this unrelated?
Yeah, no, it's related. They had her detained. She's with the white Mercedes. They got into an accident.
This is another witness. He says that the Mercedes was going in this direction.
Porque la chica se bajó y estaba así como desesperada y corrió, no sé si corrió para allá, pero sí corrió para allá. Pero se puso en la capucha. En la cámara la podemos ver.
Sí, ahora vamos a verla.
And blew through it? Oh, you already have the camera.
A search warrant of the car's computer revealed she was driving an hour, with the accelerator fully pressed at the time of the crash. Nearby cameras show her walking over 100 yards north from the scene, squatting as if to vomit, then turning and walking south past the crash, totaling about 350 yards before bystanders stopped her just moments before law enforcement arrived.
That video. Perfect. Benzo.
Go ahead, no neck pain. Okay, why your hands behind your back? Can you lift your arms up?
Yeah, because my white Mercedes is up.
Okay, can you lift your right arm up?
Yeah. No, she's cuffed.
Oh, she's cuffed.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll set her up, we'll get on a sensor. Okay, now
Ma'am.
Relax. Remember I told you to relax? Get up.
¿El Mercedes por dónde venía?
De este lado.
Get her up. She's facing down. Sit down.
Okay, we need to take you to the hospital.
Bro, that's that Diddy stud Tootsie.
They're checking out that female right now. Vehicle is going to get
Is she about it with you guys?
She's on Tuesday. So she's there right now. Okay, hold on, man.
We'll get her there. She's on Tuesday.
Yeah. Supposedamente they crashed and she tried to leave the scene. So.
Alright, I'm just going to need an officer to come with her.
Yeah.
Aliens. They're coming.
Yeah.
I'll get her legs.
Alright.
Go. Aliens are coming in.
Two injured in this car was front seat driver and the passenger behind him. Apparently she was also.
You guys are moving her now?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and assess officer in the back, and then we're going to take off.
I'm gonna go follow. I'm gonna go over there.
You guys got her info? No. We got the Narcan victim tendency. DOA is going to stay in the vehicle. Do you have anybody else that needs rescue?
I think we're good.
¿Qué tragedia esta?
Dos personas, pero yo no sé si la otra que está con
Bro, these people was going to work, bro. These people was on their way to work, dog. And she decided to be speeding going 78 miles per hour on a street. Took 2 lives, bro.
Holy f***. That's how hard it is. You know how hard it is to break a brake?
La señora, el esposo está con vida.
Sí, yo vine primero, pero aquí ven. Entonces fui ya yo sabía que yo no los puedo ayudar en ellos nada, que por eso estaba haciendo rescue. Y están en esa condición, mejor ni los toco. Pero aquella estaba...
Claro, yo la traigo para acá para que no vea.
Sir, let's get back. What are you doing here?
That's one of my employees, I think. I'm just trying to find them. Did they already take the girl out of the white Benz?
I'm not sure.
I'm the director of security at 11.
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure.
I try to get ahead of the curveball, you know?
Oh, of what curveball? It's your employee?
Yeah.
Notifications will be made, but right now we don't have much info.
I'm staying outside.
Okay.
You want to look on that side?
Yeah, look on that side.
You want, he's my witness.
Necesito. Hola.
Ya, hola, buena.
Espera un momentico. Vale.
¿Qué es lo que necesita, mami? I just need to figure this out.
I know, mommy.
He's just a witness. I don't know. Do I keep him here or are we gonna keep him here?
What's your name?
Put me in a coffin, gold. Put me.
What's your name?
Macy.
Macy?
Macy Leathers.
Macy? Hold on. What's your last name, Macy? Macy, what's your last name? Blue.
Love, we love. You love me. You love me. You love me. You guys love me. Please,
Macy, what's your last name?
Leathers.
Maddox?
Leathers.
Mathers.
LATHRS. The answer is numerology. Go look at numerology. Look it up online, numerology. What's going on?
Macy, do you know where you are?
No. Yeah. I'm in Earth.
Where?
Earth.
You're where?
Earth.
The roof?
Earth.
Earth. Yeah, we are all on Earth. Do you know where you are? What city? Where?
Oh, Miami.
Miami.
Miami with a 2 CBI.
You know what happened? Do you remember what happened?
Yeah, I died.
Were you taking any drugs?
Yeah. Think Tusi from Florida. Go now. Go now. Go.
Yo, this stuff got some crazy effects.
Hey, no, relax. Relax. We're trying to help you. Relax. We need to go outside. We all need to go outside and look at the sun. The answer is in the sun. Look at the sun. Look at the sun. Get off the phones. Get off the phones and let each other. Everyone lives at a different pace. The answer is in the crystal. New York. Oh no. I'll tell you. Red.
That's what you had a community outside summer? Super big somebody.
It's a curse. The devil's real. The devil is real.
5479. Thank you.
They're saying that she was a possible driver? Yeah, she was trying to intervene, so they were holding her down.
News coverage featured an interview with family close to the 2 fatal crash victims.
My heart is break because I can say goodbye.
You can feel the pain through the screen as Sylvia Molina Cruz speaks to us from Nicaragua.
I never say goodbye. I only have nothing.
Sylvia's brother Abraham Ismael, his fiancée Juanita Hernandez, and his friend Jesus Rubio driving on their way to work. You can see them here in this photo. Abraham and his friend would die.
Outside
Abraham and his friend passed away because she took their life.
of his fiancée, Abraham also left behind his 16-year-old son.
How the hell did she live? Not that I don't want her to die, but like, how did she survive if she the one that took them out? She was the one going mad fast, I guess, because she hit them, not them hitting her. But this Mercedes must be really, really safe.
Of our life, you broke family.
After her arrest, Macy faced 3 counts of operating a vehicle on a suspended license resulting in death.
She was already suspended.
Her injury, 2 counts of leaving the scene of a crash resulting in death.
Oh my God.
Counts of vehicular homicide and failing to stop at the scene of the crash. 1 count of reckless driving resulting in serious injury. 2 counts driving under the influence, resulting in manslaughter and failing to render aid. 1 count of driving under the influence and causing bodily injury. 2 counts of driving without a license and causing serious bodily harm. And 2 counts of leaving the scene of a crime resulting in serious bodily injury. She was initially given a $140,000 bond and placed on house arrest after posting bail. Judge
Bro, how could she go home? She killed 2 people.
Teresa Mary.
How y'all gonna let her out on bail, dog?
Of leaving the scene of a crime resulting in serious bodily injury. She was initially given a $140,000 bond and placed on house arrest after posting bail. Judge Teresa Mary Pooler later revoked her bond, citing the ease of escaping house arrest, and ordered her held without bail. Around this time, Macy pleaded not guilty to all charges. Prosecutors soon dropped 5 of her 15 charges, likely because more serious versions of the same offenses were already in place. The case is currently heading to a jury trial. If convicted, Macy faces a minimum of 4 years and a maximum of 30 if sentenced.
She needed that 30. She needed that 30 piece.
Concurrently, she faces a minimum of 22 years and up to 175 if sentenced consecutively. Macy's driving history adds more frustration to the situation. Between October and July, she was ticketed for failing to register her vehicle, running a red light caught on a traffic camera, and for crossing a median strip on a highway. Although records show her license was suspended back in January, she faced no charges for driving on a suspended license prior to the crash, despite being pulled over and ticketed in May. Macy also racked up 5 unpaid parking tickets from October to June 9th.
Bro, this bitch got bad driving history, gang. Yo, man, I'm off this nasty. I see y'all niggas in the next stream, bro. I'll see y'all tomorrow or something like that, you know what I mean? Appreciate y'all. I got some videos I'm planning on dropping too for y'all, so stay tuned for those. Everybody's safety, appreciate y'all. As always, hope y'all had a good stream with me. I enjoyed my time with y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one, bro.